Welcome to the Stronger Leader podcast, home of the hashtag Stronger movement, where we explore the fascinating tapestry of human experience. I'm your host, Tony Cardello. Each episode, we'll sit down with a remarkable guest to dive into their unique journeys, from successful business leaders to individuals who have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger, even from some of the inspiring youth of this emerging generation. We'll also cover essential topics on marriage, leadership, as well as spiritual, physical, and mental health, all in hopes to provide you with the tools and motivation to navigate your own life's challenges. Whether you're here to learn, grow, or simply be inspired, there's something for everyone. So get comfy, settle in, and join us as we embark upon this journey together. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Turn on the notifications so you'll know whenever we drop new content. All right, let's get started.
I loved it.
It's built right in. Might as well use it, right? Welcome to another episode of the Stronger Leader podcast. It's your host, Tony Cardello. And the crowd goes wild. I'm here with a good friend of mine, local bodybuilding competitor, fitness competitor, overall woman of just amazingness, and mom, wife, all kinds of stuff. I'm super excited about this. But Mandy Rochon. What's up, Mandy?
I love it.
That's our intro.
Oh my gosh, that gets you like all fired up.
Doesn't it?
I'm like looking out, like the crowd.
The crowd goes wild, and they're here. They're here for you, Mandy.
Oh my gosh, now I'm like,
they are here for you.
now I'm all nervous. Like, oh my gosh.
I love this. Well, listen, this podcast is pretty cool for me. So I met Mandy. I'm almost certain, and if it was before this, I really don't remember. I just remember the connection we made in St. Louis.
Yeah.
At the bodybuilding show. And I probably had seen you in passing in the gym, but we were both competing. Mm-hmm. That was the show that I did. And you were a local Kansas City girl. We were all in St. Louis, and you kind of just made your way to hanging out with us. And we just kind of became buds since then. And it's been pretty cool. And then through some mutual friends with Aaron and, Jake Witt. Aaron knows Jake, and Jake and I work together, and there's just been, multiple connections, and then it's been pretty cool. And then most importantly, Mandy has a fitness program that she does. You're a coach, right? Yep. Bodybuilding coach. Mm-hmm. Is that what you would call it, bodybuilding coach?
Lifestyle and bodybuilding. Okay. I do both, yes.
So she works primarily with women, and only women. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So a lot of women, but it's beyond just physical. I mean, she's mental, just empowerment. And I think this is really cool. Also, we were talking before the show, and the dovetail of what our ministry is with being primarily men and hers women, and kind of our give to the women in our ministry is to empower them and model what a good man looks like, so that they, as women, can hold us accountable, and also us serving you at the highest level so that you can be all that God created you to be too. So I think it's cool. I think this will be really unique for us to be together. So why don't we open up just with a very generic, I wouldn't say generic, but just a general introduction of who you are, because this is, like I said, for me, I don't really know you. I don't know the depth of you, like where you're from, where you grew up. Let's do the basic stuff. Let's start with that. Like where'd you grow up? Where are you from? How long you've been married? How many kids? All the stuff.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
All the meat and potatoes.
Yes.
Well, so I am a virtual fitness coach. So I do lifestyle and bodybuilding prep. I also have our own podcast, Bikinis After Babies.
Pull that mic closer.
Oh wow, it gets so much.
Extend it out a little bit.
Like
there you go.
There we go.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
These are so neat.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go shopping for one of these when I go home.
I'll give you all the links, girl.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
but yeah, so we have a podcast, Bikinis After Babies, and kind of like you said, empowerment for what you're doing for men in your ministry. For Bikinis After Babies, we saw this niche market of wanting to empower women after kids, because so many times we get, after babies, we give so much to our family and so much to our kids. It's so easy to lose ourselves, not just postpartum, but after the fact. So that was, that's something that's our passion, babies, Bikinis After Babies.
And I can imagine, like, some women, like, babies wreak havoc on you guys physically, right? And so sometimes you look at I could see as a woman, you could look yourself in the mirror and be like, it's over, I'm done. And then you just kind of just like, I'm never going to look good again. And so you just kind of check that off, and it's not true.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can get it back and you can rock it.
Oh, absolutely. And that is the pinnacle of what we try to, show women. We do interviews of all sorts of elite athletes that have have had triplets or who have had multiple C-sections, whatever the case may be, and how they're at this like elite level, even Olympia stage, and how they've done it all after babies,
I've always been curious in the judging, and this is getting probably way off track, but in the judging world, in the women judging world, for a woman who's had C-sections or anything with scarring or anything like that, is there any criteria is there deductions at all for that?
No, absolutely not.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I a little bit of background kind of with my knowledge with that, just before I start going into it, of just being like this person that's talking about this. So for your listeners, we'll go all the way back before I answer that question. Okay. So, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I have brother. I had mom, dad. We moved here in Kansas City, I think when I was like 4, for my dad's work. And so we've been in Liberty, Kansas City my whole life. My husband and I moved around a little bit, but majority Kansas City for our whole life. So born and raised here. And honestly, a normal, I say nuclear family, and my son who's 16 is like, what does nuclear mean? I'm like, it just means a mom and dad and kids, and they stayed married for a long time. Yeah. So, I just grew up in a like really basic household. But
healthy.
Healthy in the fact like a successful marriage, but definitely my parents weren't like the healthiest people. They drank a lot. They loved their cigarettes. I love it. Yeah. We always joke about it because my dad is like my best friend now, and I'll go into more detail with that later, but we weren't close at all growing up. I was my mom's best friend. And it's so funny looking back to it because my mom was like, we were so close, and it's just crazy to think about how different everything is now. But so with my childhood, my brother's 4 years older than me. So I'm the younger sibling. When, growing up, we really didn't get along. I went through a rebellious teenage phase, which I know we can go into that later as well. So I know you like to talk about that.
That's my jam.
So I went through I'll even use the word heinous, rebellious teenage phase. And I did even through my 20s. I really did. It wasn't until I was about, 24. And I finally changed. And again, I know we'll go into details about all of that. But so I finally changed when I was about 24. And
you're how old now?
I'm 36 now.
Okay. There's no HR compliance here, so I can ask whatever I want.
Yeah. So I'm 36. But so when I was 24, I finally kind of made some life-changing decisions. And by all means, none of it was easy at all. And I had zero help, zero guidance. And I mean, back then, social media wasn't social media as it is today. So I was very alone. But I made a bunch of life-changing decisions, and for myself, for my son. And through that, it was such a short time. It took maybe 3 months, and there was a huge difference. Like, I lost all this baby weight that I was carrying around.
Now, back up for a minute. Did you, in your teen years, first of all, did you go to like Liberty High School and all that?
So I went to Liberty High School. I graduated 2007, and it was so bad. I was so rebellious. Did
you get into the party scene, drugs and everything?
Absolutely. All of
it.
Like
hard drugs? You do
a little bit. Okay. Nothing too serious to where I was like
strung out.
Yeah, nothing like that. But I fell into the category of just not being enough. I wanted this attention. I wanted this love and affection. And I had such low self-esteem. And of course, back then I didn't know what self-esteem was. I just didn't feel good about myself. I didn't like how I looked. I played soccer for like 13 years of my life.
Oh, wow.
I was really good at it. I was a really great defender. I could sprint really well. So it was really great. And it was about when I was 13 was the big transition, because it was that age where girls were like, they didn't want to be soccer players or sporty. They wanted to be cute, skinny, blonde. So nobody wanted to like hang around like the sporty girls. And so it made me kind of rebel against soccer a little bit, to be like, I don't want to do that. I want to fit in with the cute girly girls. Yeah. So, and it was the same with like, I want to wear what they're wearing. I want to like, I had this like just craving to fit in so much. It's crazy.
So let's back up for a minute on that note. I'm going to ask some personal questions.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So tell me, so your parents got married, successful marriage. What was your dad's involvement in your life? And the reason why I'm asking this is because obviously with us being in the men's ministry side, we think it's so important. Looking back, and I'm not asking for you to talk shit on your dad and put him down or whatever. But sometimes our parents just parented like men back, years ago were to go to work and put a roof over the kid's head and put food on the table. And that was it, right? They didn't understand. Our generations before us weren't really educated on the emotional education on what the father's role emotionally was. Some did it well, but a lot of parents, a lot of men were providers. They went to and from work, and they get home, the mom's like, leave dad alone, he's been working all day. And so did you have that growing up?
100%.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And like I said, my dad and I.
Makes sense. That's what I was asking.
My dad and I are so close now. Growing up, we were not close. It was 100% that. He was an amazing husband. He was an amazing provider. So reliable, so predictable, so stable.
And for him, it was he was doing what he thought he was supposed to do.
Oh, it was. Yeah. It 100% was.
That's why I've never resented my dad.
Yeah. He went to our soccer games. He went to our practices. Like, he was the dad he was supposed to be. When I look back at it now that I'm older, my rebellious nature of my childhood really, I can't say it had a reflection on my parents necessarily. Okay. Like, my parents really did like what they were supposed to do. Like, They really did. And they, looking back on it, actually, if anything, I take away the love that my parents had, because I also lost my mom to cancer when I was 22.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. So that was this like obviously huge deal in my life, but just seeing my parents' love, like Aaron and I talk about it all the time. It's funny because I'll probably get choked up because I always choke up when I like start talking about their love.
Yeah.
Like, watching that type of love, because when you're young, you don't get it. But when my mom got diagnosed, she got diagnosed with stage 2 lung cancer when I was 21. Right, it was right before I turned 21. I got pregnant with my son at 19. I gave birth when I was 20, and so it was the following year. She got diagnosed with stage 2 lung cancer. She also had an autoimmune disease, so it wasn't something they could necessarily operate on. They had to do a bunch of chemo, radiation, and she had to travel for these treatments. My dad, speaking of faith, was very, very raised private school Christian Science. And for you guys that don't understand Christian Science, they do not believe in medicine. They do not believe in even taking Tylenol. You don't go to the hospital. You don't go to the doctor. Their faith is still really beautiful. I've gone to their church because my grandma, when she was alive, was very active in that community. But so my dad, I watched my dad like learn how to be a not a doctor, but like be my mom's
provider, so to speak.
Yeah, he built like a binder.
Was your mom
for her.
Church the Science as well?
No, she was Catholic. That was very fun. Very fun.
My sister-in-law was just on here the other night. I don't know if you got to see that. Same thing. Her dad,
I haven't listened to it, but I saw the recording of you.
And
guys
her mom was Catholic. What's the draw there? These Catholic girls are like these science guys.
I will tell you the rom-com of it. This is so funny. My dad will probably listen to this too, because he does listen to like my stuff. My dad is so cute now.
I love it.
So my mom was actually very Catholic, private school. I have my aunts and uncles, big Catholic family. She was engaged to a Catholic boy, and she met my dad, and they met at work and fell in love and went to my grandparents, her parents, and were like, I'm not going to marry this guy. And my grandparents were like, like the whole church, it was like
the holy water's going to bubble.
It was like a movie from the stories I hear. And she dated, moved in, lived with my dad, and it was a whole thing, them getting engaged and having to go, I'm sure you can understand, but having to go to the process of getting married with two completely different faiths like that.
That would be tough, especially the Catholic faith.
It was very tough.
We were born and raised Catholic, me and Dominique both, and we actually got married in the Catholic Church. We hadn't really stepped completely away from the Catholic faith, but we more or less had at the point, but we just from tradition, both Italian, we wanted to get married in a Catholic church. We both grew up in the church. And so we went to her priest that she grew up with her whole life. She went to private schools, St. Pat's and St. Pius and all that. And same priest. And then she asked him if he would come to Our Lady of Sorrows downtown and marry us. And he said, no, you can come to our church. Yeah. And she's like, we don't have a center aisle. He goes, it doesn't matter. We have an aisle. So he said, I'll tell you what, I will come and marry you guys, but I want a $5,000 tithe to the church. So we're like, wow. we're already kind of like on the outskirts of the Catholic deal anyway. And then, and that kind of really turned, we went through with it. We did. My father-in-law gave the money.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. And cause baby girl gets whatever she wants. But yeah. So the process of getting married with,
I don't remember exactly how they ended up doing it, but I do know they ended up not getting married in a Catholic church. I do know that. I can't remember exactly what church or how it transpired. They still had a big, beautiful wedding.
Yeah, he would have to go to the catechism and all that stuff.
Yeah, and my dad has a child from a previous marriage, so that had issues in it too. That I remember caused some things. So, anyways, a beautiful story. But having my mom battle cancer and then watching my dad just become this different person was eye-opening in so many ways, because we always hear like, you're old and set in your ways. No, that's not a real thing. Like we just tell ourselves it's a choice.
It's a cop-out.
Yeah. And I watched this man who is like the average man, the provider that who like his wife cooks him dinner, the guy that we always see. And all of a sudden, like his wife, like my mom had this thing happen, and he just stepped up like in ways that you could never even imagine. And he changed dramatically. That's cool. And he just became this like different person for her. And she battled for like 2 years, and it spread to her spine, or it spread to her brain and then her spine. And she was in hospice for a little bit. She had 2 brain surgeries and then ended up in hospice and then passed.
You have any siblings?
Yeah. So I have an older brother. He's 4 years older. I love my brother. We are astronomically different. You would not even know we're siblings.
This is your half brother, right?
No, he's my full brother. I've never met my half brother. I just know he exists. But no, my full brother, he lives in right outside of Lee Summit now. I think, I'm trying to remember exactly like where he lives. So right outside of Lee Summit. He's married and they have like 3 kids.
You guys still talk?
Oh gosh, yeah, we do. It's just so funny. My brother and I have like a very interesting relationship. It's one of those where, we are so different, but we'll pick up the phone and we'll just like be like, hey, did you play that new video game on the Switch? I'm like, yeah, I just saw it. And then we'll talk for like an hour. Like we just saw each other yesterday. So we just don't see each other or chat that much. He works a lot. Like he works he works in the restaurant business, and so does his wife. So they're always working. The kids are still young. I think the oldest, Sayori, now, I think she's about to be a teenager.
That's Sayori?
Sayori, yeah. So so she he married into the kiddos. I always love the kiddos. It's Sayori, Hayden, and Sylvia.
Love it.
Yeah, so they're so adorable. I remember meeting them, and little Sylvia was still in diapers. Now she's like 6 or 7 now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, so but yeah, no, we're just really close. We just don't see each other as often. But yeah, so when I got pregnant with my son at 19, it was a pivotal point as well, because I was, rebelling still. I was going through all the things. My boyfriend at the time, my son's dad, his name's Cody, just to make it easier to kind of talk about. We were together, and then when I got pregnant, it was kind of normal for him, because he was like 2 years older than me, but he had older siblings who had already had kids. So like to him, it was like normal. He's from a small town, a couple hours away. It was normal just to get
any relationship with your son, him, your
no, not at all. No. Okay. And I have a very, I'm very grateful for, it's weird to say that now because like so much time has passed, but he amicably, if I said that right.
Yeah.
Signed over his rights to Aaron and loves Aaron and knew that Aaron was going to be a fantastic father, and just was very cordial about knowing that he was never going to step up to be the father that Carson deserved. And he tried. I'll obviously give him that. He tried. He just chose a harder path for himself. He chose just not well. He has multiple kids, multiple just issues with their moms. And as he got older, it just never got easier. He had an opportunity with one of his children to be very close with them. And, when him and I at the time talked, we still talked here and there. He still saw Carson here and there. It was so sporadic, though. It was very unhealthy. There was no consistency. There was no stability. And Aaron stepped in when Carson was 4.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Okay.
So this is kind of, it's weird how when you start taking charge of your life, even through all the chaos, even though it's so hard, even if you have nobody in your corner and nobody on your team and nobody helping you, if you just know, anybody listening, you deserve better. You deserve what you want, and what you deserve to be in a good place. And something in me when I lost my mom at 22, so about 24, something in me was like, Mandy, there has to be better. There has to be better. I had a very toxic boyfriend. I was broke. Carson was still going back and forth with his dad at the time, and that was, not great. Just everything toxic you could think about in a struggling situation, just had this massive grief. Like, I've never lost anybody in my entire life.
Yeah, and you lose your mom.
And I lose my mom.
Yeah.
And she was, and it was very hard because she was doing well, and it took a turn. It took a turn very rapidly. It went from, we're doing pretty well. Like, she could go back. She was working again. Like, she really enjoyed work, so she wanted to go back to work.
Now, where'd your parents work at? Where'd they meet each other?
I actually don't know. They met in St. Louis. So I'm not sure exactly where they met as far as that. But my mom worked at Corner Cafe in Liberty. And if you guys listening ever go to Corner Cafe in Liberty and go to the bakery, where the bakery section is, and look to your left, there's a picture, and it's me. It's baby Carson and my mom and my grandparents.
I love it.
Yeah, it's super cute. It was like a couple weeks after Carson was born. And there's also a plaque in remembrance for my mom. She was very close with the owners.
Did she work there for a while?
Yeah, she got a part-time job there because she knew it was right when it first opened. So very, very long time ago. She knew the manager, and she got a part-time job, and she loved it. She loved the people there. She had so much fun. Then
we've been in this community for 18 years now, so I know I've seen her. We've gone up there all the time.
Mornings, yeah, she was the morning person.
I love it.
Only on the weekdays. She wouldn't work weekends. So it's like, and she would only work mornings. She's not a night person.
Although back then she may have seen me in the morning, which was still my night.
Yeah. So they asked her to be a manager for only mornings, and she accepted it. So she did that till she couldn't anymore. So she actually took a turn there. She fell, and they thought she was having a stroke. So the ambulance picked her up. And when her results the few weeks prior showed her tumor in her lungs shrinking, they didn't do a full body. They did a full body scan, but anybody who knows what a full body scan, they don't do your head. A full body scan is only neck down. So they did not see that it had spread to her brain. Oh, no. And so we thought it was better, and it wasn't better. So she thought it looked like she had a stroke. So we all rushed to the hospital, and it spread to her brain. And that was the first brain surgery. And they did another brain surgery later, a little while later. And then it was like a conversation.
Progressive.
It was a conversation of like, hey, it's either she needs to go
palliative
home.
care.
Yeah. And that, thinking about all of that, I think about my dad. My mom she was like, you got to make sure your dad is taken care of. You got to make sure he redo the house how he wants to do it. And my dad still lives in my childhood house. And it was beautiful because she was protecting my dad. But my dad, and again, looking back on it, I can see it. He protected us. So my dad and I got into a fight because I wanted mom to come home. So, for you guys listening, if you don't know, the understanding of choosing hospice, sometimes you can choose for hospice to be done at home, or you could choose hospice care in a facility. So they gave us those options, and I was like, let's go home.
I want mom home.
I want mom home.
Yeah.
And dad's like, no. And I was mad at him. At the time I was like, this is infuriating. There's 3 of us. Plus I think we could get a nurse at the time. Our insurance was great. We didn't have problems with that. And he said no, and he wouldn't do it. And later on, I respect why. He knew her time was short, and he did not want her to pass in our care and be alone with us. No. So he was protecting us. So I understand that now, being, Carson's older, I wouldn't want that to happen to him. So, but through, all of this, a young mom, my son's dad was not great. We split up shortly after. My mom going through cancer. I'm just trying to learn life.
Girl, you're getting just a shit sandwich.
So, it's I just don't I don't really share these stories anymore. They don't come up anymore. Now that I'm in my 30s. But yeah, if you think about my time between 19 and in my 20s in general, I would say before I met Aaron, it was like, I look back and I'm like, I sometimes don't know how I made it.
So, question, during that time, any real darkness, like contemplate suicide, or, did you any like major ideation, or was it just like, man, I just want to go to bed and not wake up. I just want this all to go, or anything like that, any that level of darkness. And another question I wanted for you, spiritual life, with mom being Catholic, dad being, the science church, where did you fall in that? What was your belief system then as a growing up, and then what is it now?
So, okay, to answer that first, we grew up in a household with no faith, and a lot of it was because of the headbutting of the divisions. They just kind of kept theirs to themselves. I would go visit my grandparents quite a bit. I was very lucky with both my grandparents being in St. Louis, so we would go to St. Louis for everything. We got to see everybody. Yeah. So I got to visit Christian Science faith. I got to visit Catholic faith. I understood enough growing up, but it wasn't a part of my life. Faith did enter my life, and it's so weird to say, and I know we'll talk about it more, but it entered my life more this year.
Awesome.
I know.
I love that.
And it's different to talk about. I guess I'll say it's different to talk about with certain people. With you, it's very open. So we can definitely dive into that later.
Okay.
But to answer that, the suicide ideations or the thoughts, no, only because my son. Carson changed my life in so many ways and
gave you purpose.
Yeah. And I wouldn't call it purpose yet. It was more when I found out I was pregnant so early, like 5 weeks pregnant. I easily missed my cycle, took a test, bam, done.
Talk about that for a minute. What was that like?
Well, again, I hung around a pretty rough.
It wasn't shocking because I mean, you knew.
Yeah,
you knew
I was already living with my boyfriend at the time, we had a 1-bedroom apartment. We were both working, both living together. I will say, I ran in a pretty rough crowd, so young pregnancy was pretty normal for me. If anything, and it's so awkward to say now, getting pregnant at 19 wasn't terrible because I knew so many other young moms. Even with multiple kids, in situations that this was kind of like, okay.
It was normal.
Yeah.
You normalized it anyway.
Sure. Well, it was. And it helped a little bit that he had siblings that were slightly older that had multiple kids, and they had successful marriages, or what looked to be, I will say now, successful marriages. So it gave me a little bit of comfort with that. And also, like, again, my mom and I were super close. I immediately called my mom and was like, this is happening. So, but all of a sudden, I was like, I'm the protector of this thing. Like that whole feeling. And mind you, I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day back then. And like, I immediately quit. This was done. Yeah. It was not even a question. And I've never smoked since. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was like, I have to protect this little thing. And that feeling to this day, it's never left my body. But that was basically like my whole pregnancy. My pregnancy, labor, delivery, I will say I'm the worst person to ask. It was awkwardly easy. I even did it naturally because I have a platelet disorder. So it doesn't affect my life really. I just have to always like tell doctors, but I can't do epidurals or any needle injections in my spine. So I was in labor for about like 6 hours, pushed for like 30 minutes and was done. I'm one of those people, lucky few. I don't like to tell women that because I'm like, that's not normal. I got lucky. So, but yeah.
You had something go good for you.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this was great. So I gave birth to him, and it was so meant to be. Like, it was just, even being pregnant in this situation, it was so meant to be. Like, I did not go through postpartum with motherhood. I went through identity issues, but as a mom, this little mashed potato, like this little thing, he's 8 pounds. He was just my everything. Like, he was my whole world. He was my being. He was just.
For you, it wasn't a chore. It was it was
everything I wanted. And it was. And it's funny because my dad.
So this happened for you, not to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so different because, again, I ran in a rough crowd. I watched young moms. So young moms, as you know, they would hand their babies off, or they would,
especially if there's a grandma involved.
Yeah, something. Yeah. They just weren't, they didn't want to be moms yet. It happened to them. But for me, I'm like, I don't want to leave him. Like, I want to do this. Like, I just wanted it. Now, that feeling was great, but the problem that then, like, my mom getting sick and trying to navigate a toxic relationship, bills, money, a job, a baby, like daycare. Yeah. So like my mom helped me watch him, and I went back to work, and then she got sick and couldn't watch him. And it was the survival mode was like just.
Cody's parents.
They lived too far. They were 2.5, 3 hours away. Okay, got it. But yeah, they would visit and stuff. They were very nice people. Same with his grandparents, super nice people. I still to this day am in touch with all of them. They'll still follow me on social media, ask me questions. I've had his sisters reach out to me. I'm very open. Like it's really funny. It still will have like me want to be friends with him on Facebook, and we'll be like, we don't talk or have any communication, but we easily could message each other and be like, hey, what's up? Oh,
does Carson have any interest?
No. That was so amicable.
Has he even asked, like, just to like kind of meet him? Has he?
He remembers him. Oh, he remembers him. He was in and out. So kind of that story. So Carson. So after my mom had passed,
does he call Aaron dad?
So no, he's never called anybody dad, which is so silly. I call Aaron. Aaron is dad. Aaron's his dad. Carson will say dad in like settings. Or he'll
probably tell people. It's
he'll be like, my dad took me to the baseball game. My dad did this. But there's been a few situations where Aaron, he's been with us since Carson's 4. So all of our friends, mainly at this point, like that's his dad. Nobody knows any different. So there's been a few situations where Carson will be like Aaron, and older generation thinks it's offensive because it is. And so we've gotten looks before of like, why is he saying that? I'll be like, oh no, no. But even he's called Cody. The transition, the inconsistency kind of stopped Carson from being a dad because Cody left for a while. So we'll back up for a minute. After my mom passed, I went through a dark time of just trying to figure out who I am, how to navigate this, what is this life? And my dad lost his wife, but he also lost my grandma. My grandma was sick too, so he lost his mom and his wife in the same month.
Oh my gosh.
The same month.
Like those are the two women that take care of you.
Yeah.
As a man, my mom and my wife, I don't know what I would do without him.
Yeah. He was mentally prepared to lose his mom because she was sick. She had deteriorated, to just be ready to go. Obviously he was not prepared to lose my mom. So my dad and I were so distant. We just were never close. Again, going back to, he just was the provider. Him and my brother were closer. They watched ESPN together. ESPN was like
guy stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
So when my mom passed, we had to plan a funeral. My dad honored my grandmother's wishes of a big Catholic funeral, of course, right? Mm-hmm. So we went out to St. Louis, and my dad and I road trip together, which was fine. And so we're driving to St. Louis together, and he looks over at me, and I'll never forget it. And he's like, I want to do better. I want to be there for you more. And I'm like, sure. Okay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. What's that look like?
We've never been close. He's just, whatever. Like my dad and I have gone months and months and won't even talk sometimes, it's just, we just were never close. It was always my mom and I. Mm-hmm. And I was like, sure, Dad, whatever.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. We have the funeral. We then have a service at Corner Cafe, like a week or so later, just like a remembrance service for everybody. And then it was shortly after that, my dad calls me, maybe it was a couple months after that. He calls me. He's like, hey, like I bought you a car. And I'm like, excuse me? Like you wouldn't even give me $1 before. Yeah. Like my dad was very like stricter kind of.
Earn your way.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I want you and Carson to have reliable transportation so I don't have to worry about if something happens to you. So I bought you a car and I paid it down to where you can afford the car payments. And I'm like, did you really though? He's like, go up to Gary Crosley. My dad loves Gary Crosley. Mm-hmm. He's like, go up there and pick it up. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, he did. He did it for my brother too. And I'm like, okay. So then he started calling me more. And then we started talking more and talking, and we ended up talking so much more that it was like you are talking to like your buddy, like your best friend.
Yeah.
And then it was just, he then helped Carson and I, he helped us like rent a house in Liberty because he wanted us to be closer. So like we rented a house in Liberty and he paid like half and then I paid half. And then, and then my brother moved. Well, before my brother moved in, I had a boyfriend that was very toxic. That's just, of course, how my life was going, right? So I was working an unhappy job. I was trying to raise Carson. Cody was still in the picture at this point. It was just inconsistent. It was the normal, like, crappy chaos.
I had him this weekend, like, oh, hey, something came up. I can't take him.
It was just that. So if you know, and it was the normal back and forth. And so then going back to where, I was like, there has to be better. Like there has to be better.
Yeah.
Like, how are these people out here like living life? And like, I'm over here just drowning every single day. Rather it doesn't even matter what avenue, it's all of it. I don't even know how to take care of myself. That wasn't even a thought.
What was your physical?
Yeah.
Were you heavy at that time?
So I again, played soccer my whole life. I'll touch on that. Yeah. So I was never bullied or picked on, but I always had thicker legs, thicker glutes just because I played soccer. And when I was pregnant, I was over 200 pounds when I was pregnant. I gained about 50 plus pounds with Carson. And then after giving birth, I only lost like 20, 30 of those pounds. So I was way heavier than what I was when I was younger. Nobody in my family or friends or anybody, there was no such thing as a gym, taking care of yourself, active. You got pregnant.
Jim was a guy we knew.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, at that time, you just got pregnant, you gave birth, and you take care of your kid.
Yeah,
like that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right.
So I was like, there has to be better. So I just blew up my life. I did. I love that saying, like,
that is
blow up your life. I really did. This horrible man, I kicked him out of my house. I threw him out, and I did not.
So let me ask you something. Back up for a minute. So
Sure.
when you was there an event that caused you to blow up your life, or do you remember? Maybe you don't remember the exact day, but do you remember like, all right, that's it. Cut the shit. I'm done. Something's got to be different.
So,
was it like that, or was it like, this? I'm going to really work on it. Was it all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying?
So there wasn't a specific event, but there was like a series, I guess I would say. So
in a short period of time.
Yeah. So I knew the man that I was dating at the time wasn't a good man. It was one of those situations where it's like, I didn't have enough self-esteem to get myself out of it. And, again, Carson was going back and forth, and it raised to the level of physical abuse, to me. And Carson was never around it or never saw it or anything like that. So it just was only to me, it was verbal and physical abuse. And there was a night, and I still have a little scar on my finger where my hand went through glass. And that's where I got that cut. And it was kind of like that. And the physicalness was getting, more intense here and there. And it was like, there has to be better. Like it was kind of just that.
Was this fueled by intoxication at all during those times?
He ended up, and this is very sad. When I started dating this man, and when we started dating, it was a normal relationship. Like it really was. We just had met through mutual friends. We had hung out. We liked each other. It just grew. Right. He ended up getting addicted to drugs, and the harder drugs. And it happened because there was a friend, an old like high school buddy, came into town to visit him, and he went to go hang out with him for a night. Nothing harmful that you would think anything of. And then he just didn't come home. And then when he did, it was like he was just like this different person. And then that's it, like kind of, went into
snowballed,
that. Yeah. And it was so sad. Like I ended up having to drop him off at a rehab facility downtown. But it was just, that was never going to change. Everything was getting worse. Financially, I was so broke. I didn't know how I was going to do anything, better. But there was just something inside me that was like, you have to, for yourself, for your kid. And I had no idea what that looked like. I had no idea what that was. So I just did it. And
what'd you do? What was the first step?
So the first step was throwing the boyfriend out. That was the very first step. So threw him out. I picked up for extra money a part-time job at the daycare at the time. Now we all know it as, oh my gosh, Genesis. But at the time it was Aspen. Do you remember when it was Aspen?
Of course. I signed up when they first came.
Me too.
Like
so
$10 a month or whatever. I blew that.
He was a trainer there, and I just got a part-time job at the daycare to make extra money, and then I had a full-time job Monday through Friday. So I got free gym access. So I kicked him out, but I still had to go to work. He no longer trained there, so I didn't have to worry about seeing him. But that's how I kind of got my foot in the door at the gym. So I didn't know anything else. So I would go to the gym, I'd work, and it was free. Yeah. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just like walk on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just don't want to go home. I'm alone. I'm still kind of scared of this guy. And my kid's safe here. He plays in the daycare, whatever. So it's all fine. So I'm like, I guess I'll walk on the treadmill. And so I just walked on the treadmill.
Can I just tell you something so funny? You call it a treadmill.
Treadmill?
Treadmill. My wife does too.
Oh, really?
Treadmill. It's so funny. You just said, I was like,
Yeah. So now I'm always going to think that when
treadmill.
I say that. It's so funny. But so, and the Stairmaster. Yeah. So I just walked on these things, and so funny. I did it for like an hour. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know weights. I didn't know what to do. I got promoted, we'll say, to the front desk. Because again, I've always been a morning person. So they knew they could trust me to open and not oversleep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I know. So
I can't tell you how many times. That's my gym. I've been out there waiting.
Yeah.
No one shows up.
Yeah. So they knew they could always rely on me. Yeah. So, and they said I could bring Carson. So that was one, because the daycare doesn't open till later, but they said he could hang out with me behind the front desk. So I was like, that's perfect. I need the money. Yeah. And so I would do that. Again, met more people, learned more stuff. I saw the commonality was a lot of people have a jug of water and a lot of people are eating protein. So that's all. And everybody was really nice. So I spent a lot of my time at the gym because my circle outside of the gym was so very, I can look back now.
Not gym people.
Just so toxic. Like if you didn't smoke cigarettes and drink and bitch about your custody problems and stay up till 2 a.m, like you were an outcast. Yeah. And if you dare say something positive, you were like full of yourself. Right. Like God forbid you say something nice about yourself or something you want to do for yourself, you're full of yourself. Yeah. So
that's so funny.
It slowly, like the more I spent in the gym with those people that, I'm just meeting, the more I would like, okay, well, I can't stay up late because I can't open, or I can't, always drink like this because I still drank, I never did hard drugs or anything like after that, after I got out of my adolescence, but I still drank alcohol. But it's like I started trading things off, I'm like, I can't do this negative thing if I want to do this positive thing. So I took baby steps. You're going to laugh. I'm an avid cook. I cook now, but back then I had no idea how to cook. So I would always buy a rotisserie chicken, a jug of water, and I always told myself I have to eat my rotisserie chicken and I have to drink my jug of water before I ever drink beer. Every day. Great. Every day. That was like my rule of thumb. And I blinked and I lost 20 pounds, like 10 inches off my waist. It was nuts. It happened so fast. Mm-hmm. A lot of people started noticing and just was like, what are you doing? I'm like, working. Like, and then it was like, how do I lift weights? Uh-huh. Because I was allowed to open the gym. We didn't have social media. Yeah. I would go to the gym an hour before I open.
Oh my gosh. 3 o'clock.
Something right? like that. I don't remember. It was the weekend, so a little later, but it's still super early. I would not turn the lights on and I would walk around the gym floor and practice working on all the workout equipment.
I love that story.
Yeah, I know.
That's gold.
Because like now we can just YouTube and Instagram and all this stuff. Like, how do I do a lunge or something?
Yeah, yeah.
But we didn't have that back then. So I just would like walk around.
Like, dude, that is so awesome. You were on a mission. There was no excuses. Oh, I don't know how to work out. You know what I mean? It's like you literally blew up all the excuses. It's so great.
So all of these things, I just want to preface, did not happen overnight. Like
Sure.
I kicked out the boyfriend, and I started going to the gym, or I started staying later at the gym. I asked my brother to move in with me so he could help me pay bills and help me with Carson. And he agreed. And so my brother and I lived together. Even when Aaron and I met, we all three lived together for a while.
Love that.
Oh, it was great. My brother went to culinary school. So
that's awesome.
yeah, that was, we always joke that we grew up on boxed mashed potatoes and my dad's like grilled steak, and like, Dad, I love you, but you know that the steak was not always the greatest. So
well done.
I know. Well, he liked his mooing and his pork chops were well done.
Yeah.
So anywho, it's so funny because now my brother and I are like avid like cookers, but so it was just one step. It was one foot in front of the other. Mm-hmm. And even if I stumbled backwards, because don't get me wrong, I'd still stay out, get drunk, or just still be young and still learn, but realize like, I don't really like how that feels, so I'm not going to do that tomorrow. And then I wouldn't. And it just kept building. And then I started getting the compliments. I started getting this attention, and the attention was so new. I did not like, I always preface that I didn't always look like this. Like, I have like veneers, like I've like worked on I don't want to say everything, but over time I've gotten more work done. I invested in myself, and I still do. But when I was younger, teens, early 20s, I didn't get attention, Mm-hmm. And so I started getting this attention, and it was kind of overwhelming. It was different, but it kind of made me be like, why didn't you give me attention before? Now you're giving me attention. You're a jerk.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like that. So,
buzz off.
All of a sudden I every Sunday, I don't want to say every Sunday, during the summer on Sundays, there was a place we would all go to play sand volleyball and like kind of spend Sunday fun days. A lot of gym people did it. There's just like groups of people. It was a blast. We always call it Sunday fun day. Aaron was there with a group of people, and then I was there with a group of people. Actually, I'm sorry, I was there by myself. I just knew the group of people.
I gotcha.
Which I still to this day think this is amazing because I rarely would go by myself places other than the gym. Mm-hmm. Especially the pool, because I knew so many people. I wasn't even going to go that day because my friends bailed on me. My friends didn't want to go. Right. And I was like, I'll just go anyways because I do know people that go. Yeah. And I still went. So it's crazy because Aaron and I have never been apart since this day.
That's a God wink.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I've had a lot of that in my life when I look back now. So we ended up playing on the same sand volleyball team several times, and we were nice and little sauced. And it's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Aaron. I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? And Aaron, he had
some beard in full effect.
Not as big as it is now. Okay, I will say, since he's left the car business, scarred him for life. He doesn't like alarm clocks, and he doesn't like short beards. Yeah, because he was always told he had to shave it. So now he's like, it's like he's like a rebel. I'm like, Aaron, you're like, does it really matter now? Like, you're a mortgage broker. He's like, no, it's never.
It's the man beard. I know all about it.
He's like, I'll never set an alarm. I did that for a decade of my life. I'm like, oh my God, stop. So silly. I'm his personal alarm.
I love it.
He tells me when he needs to wake up, and I'm like, get up.
But boycotting the alarm.
Oh, always. And he always says the car.
But you set yours. You set yours and wake me up.
I set mine because, and I'm a morning person. I just get up at 5 a.m. at this point. Like, I just like wake up. So anyways, he ended up giving a friend of mine a ride to another party and asked like if we wanted to hang out. We said no. So I was like, hey, can you just take me back to my car? We ended up going back to my car, and we're like, everybody's gone. Nobody's here. And we're like, do you just want to keep hanging out? We're like, sure. So we hang out all night.
I love that.
Yeah, we hang out all night. We play guitar, play pool, play all this stuff. We have a great night. Next day, we hang out. And then I tell him about Carson. I tell him my mom. Aaron has never been around single moms. He's never been around anybody with kids. So to him, he has no idea what stretch marks are. He has no idea custody, children, babies, nothing. Right. He was
Are you guys the same age?
Yeah, he's actually younger than me. Okay. Believe it or not, I thought he was older than me when we met. I thought he was like 5 or 6 years older than me, and he's a year younger than me. He's a 90s baby, and I'm 89.
I love it.
Yeah, so, but he doesn't look it, so I always say that. I'm like, I will always look 10 years younger than you. Yes, you can just be younger than me.
100%.
Yeah, so, but So I told him about my life and everything, and he was fine with it. He didn't, there was no like knee jerk or anything. It was actually pretty beautiful how it blossomed because of being a single mom. But at this point, I had lost the weight. I got a pretty good rhythm with the gym, my life. I was like, okay, there was something with Aaron. Like he gave me this like butterfly feeling of like, this is my person, like I'm drawn to this man. He had the same thing with me, and we could never put our thumb on it, but we were pretty scared of this feeling. Both of us were.
So let me back up for him in his life. Did he have any experience with toxic relationships prior?
So
okay. All right.
No. I'm the first girl he's ever said I love you to.
Oh.
I'm the first girl I'm the only, I guess, because we'll be together forever. I'm the only girl he's ever lived with. His background is a little fascinating. I come from a big, both sides family, both sides big. Nobody is divorced. Everybody is married. Everybody has children. Everybody's like, it's very beautiful. His family is a little bit smaller and everybody is divorced. Everybody has gone through some type of relationship issue. He grew up with the mindset of, I might say this wrong, but his dad was like my dad, very good provider, but very active. Both Aaron's brother's two, you might know him. Mandy Rochon, he's like
I don't know, I'd have to see.
He's like operations manager at Heartland Chevrolet over here in Liberty. I don't know, he's been in the car world a lot, just like Aaron was.
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But he's 2 years younger, so they were super close. Eagle Scouts, like they were just always A+++ students.
Where did he grow up? Where did he go to school at?
Oak Park.
Okay,
Excuse me. Right before Staley was built, they went to Oak Park.
Okay.
I think they graduated right when like Staley opened, like right around that time frame. So,
was he an athlete? Anything? Did he play sports in high school?
He did baseball, but then he had a terrible coach.
Oh, man.
Ruined him. So he stopped. And he actually has played like recreational baseball here and there. The schedule is just always pretty demanding, so it's pretty hard for him.
Yeah,
so now he really loves pool and golf, and he hunts. We have 55 acres. That's the lot of land that we bought up in Lawson. So he does a lot with that. With his gun range and all sorts of stuff.
Carson like to hunt? Does he hunt with him?
Carson's not a big hunter, but he loves bikes. Carson is 100% a computer whiz.
Dirt bikes or?
All of it.
Yeah.
He loves tinkering with all of it, but he really likes his street bikes. He has, I'm going to ruin this. We have like 5 bikes. Okay.
I love this.
We have so much stuff. And it's so funny because I'm over here. I'm like, guys, I just wanted a boat.
Yeah.
And you guys get all of this stuff. We have multiple dirt bikes, street bikes, dual bikes. We have 4-wheeler. We have an EV, which is like it's in a step above a golf cart, but not as high as a racer.
Got it.
It's like in the middle. It's really good for hunting because it's super quiet. It's an electric vehicle. And then we do have a skid steer. I had to learn what that was this year.
That's great.
For you listeners who don't know what a skid steer is, it's
like a little mini bulldozer.
Yeah. Yeah, because Aaron's like, I'm going to need a tractor. And so he does all this research. He's like, I'm going to need a skid steer. I'm like, what is that? Like, I've never even heard of that.
Got all the buckets and forks and we got all the stuff.
It has its own little business.
Oh,
it does.
I love it.
This is a very love-hate relationship we have with that thing. Me, not Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron loves it, and he wins this battle because he was right. It's made us money, so can't be mad at it anymore. So anyways, backtracking to his story. So his upbringing was just so pristine. But as far as a man, just his dad was a great role model. His brother and him were really close. Again, Eagle Scouts, A+. He even tried to apply for Ivy League schools, just couldn't afford it, but was capable of getting in. He was very go-getter. He's gonna dive into engineering, and then he's very money driven. He loves making. It sounds so weird to say.
Like a hustler.
Yeah, and it's so neat because it's just like saying if I love puzzles and I get all excited about putting a puzzle together, that's how he is with money. It's just like a puzzle to him and putting it together. And
it's a challenge.
And he does it with helping people with mortgages, and it's so fascinating because it's not just we're doing a loan. He's he puts so much effort into all this stuff, and it's just amazing to watch. He will answer his phone 24/7. 24/7.
I love it.
There is never an off button on that. So
life of a hustler.
Yeah.
Have you seen those memes where like the wife is like, oh, you have all these nice things, and they're on their vacation home, and the husband's over there on his phone texting. Is like,
I have reels of that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, I have reels of him getting on planes, in the plane, in the hotel room, in my during my competitions.
Yeah.
He's just on a phone. We were at the gym this morning on the phone.
Yeah.
Like he'll bring his laptop everywhere he has to, but I love it. I love it for him. And I love being the wife that can give him the space for that. Cause it is very demanding when you guys know this, I'm sure you both do, in your marriage, when you decide to be an entrepreneur of any magnitude, it is the most demanding, decision. And doesn't matter what space you're in, but to be successful for a length of time, not just because the statistics, like most business owners and entrepreneurs, they stop after 5 years. Like it's really low. It's at like high. It's 90%. It's like low, the making of it.
I'm writing my book right now, and Dominique, the editor and the writer, is helping me get Dominique's part, and sent her a bunch of questions, and I was reading her responses tonight, and that was the last question. That was, what's her involvement in the Stronger Leader stuff, and she said, my involvement is holding down the house and doing the things and helping the kids so that he can chase his passion and be what God's called him to be. I get a little choked up thinking about it, but that's the truth, right? You guys have to. We can't. I tell people all the time when they like, man, how do you run so many business? How are you so successful and all this? Because I'm married to an amazing woman, and that's the truth. And I know it sounds Pollyanna and all that, but that is a woman can put so much life or so much death in a man's life.
I'm sure you listen to the Hermosis. They preach about that. They're like, your who you choose in your partner is like your livelihood.
That School of Hard Knocks, James, the guy that goes around and interviews all the billionaires all the time. He runs up on them like, hey, how'd you make all your money? How old are you?
I've seen that on TikTok.
I've been following him. I like him. But, one of the common threads that I see with all these billionaires, like that's what's your biggest piece of, investment advice that you can give to the younger generation today? That's what he always asks. And like, pick your partner wisely. And I've heard that from more billionaires on that freaking show than probably any other response. And it's so true. And you got to, and it's both ways, right? You got to be equally
So we, it's actually interesting. We recently went to a marriage conference with our church a month ago now. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. We learned so much though. And it goes into that of giving to each other in specific ways that work for us. And I'll talk about that. But for us meeting, there was something that was drawing us together. And something that was so interesting about this is we both would go our separate ways during the day because we both had to. So if we spent the night, he would always spend the night at my house. He had just got done with a semester at college, and he moved back home so he could work full time in the automotive business and then go to school online to finish his bachelor's. So he would go work all day, and then I would go work all day. We both went to 2 separate gyms in the evening, so we'd go to the gym. I would make sure he wouldn't be around. He wouldn't meet Carson yet. So then when he would come over, we would talk, and he would get so bullied for dating and talking to a single mom. People would fill his head of like, she's just going to, hose you. She's going to take all your money, all this stuff. And we hadn't even talked about finance yet. Like we were just dating.
Right.
And this went on for a long time, and I would always tell him, I'm like, well, are you ever going to physically abuse me? And he's like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. I'm like, I'm never going to do that to you. Why would I put my past on your shoulders and like you put these people's judgment on mine?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's right. So no. And then we'd go about our night, and we, made our way through that. And it was a couple months later. It was very short lived. A couple months later, that's when Cody, Carson's biological dad, went through his divorce at that time. Yeah. It's his only divorce. But he went through a divorce, and there was a newborn baby that was involved in that. And that was really bad. And so he had kind of up and disappeared that was when he was up and disappearing. And I had to sit Aaron down and be like, hey, I know we had a lot of free time, more that, we're used to.
He hadn't met Carson at this point?
He had met Carson at this point.
Just not a lot of time spent.
Yeah. And it was by accident he met Carson, which it was still fine. It was cute. He just didn't leave on time one morning. And Carson walked in and was like, who are you? And said, okay. It was really cute though. Like we spent the whole day together, and then again, Cody like knew that we were going to introduce, and it was fine. So all of that was okay. But I had to sit Aaron down to be like, hey, like I have to change my life, because now, even though the days like Cody's wife at the time, you know, now they're getting a divorce, she would help me with Carson and whatever, like she's not there anymore, and I have to look back into daycare. I have to change my work schedule. I have to do this. I can't like spend this time with you anymore, and I don't know what to do. And he was like, well, I really like you. I like you too. How do we make it work? And that's when we laid out all our finances, and he's like, okay, if you could stay home more with Carson, then you wouldn't have to pay for daycare. I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, okay, if I move in and I help you and you stay home and you can work part-time here and do this and help me with this saves, Aaron's always been a money guy. Yeah. So this saves me X amount of dollars.
It's a math equation at this point.
That's all it was. Yeah. And he's like, how about we do this? And I'm like, I was like, yeah. Yeah. And I don't recommend this, but it worked for us. After, I think it was like 4 or 5 months, we merged our entire lives together, all our money, all our stuff, everything. And it's always worked for us. Yeah, and I basically became the one who holds the house down. And he was the provider. His role in Carson's life was pretty fascinating, as far as the fact, like, I told him he never had to be a dad. Like, he was my boyfriend. But then he was like, why is this other guy not being a dad when he's supposed to be a dad? And I'm like, that's just life. Like, I don't know. So he started stepping up and going to the practices, the PTA meetings, all this stuff. And he became Carson's dad. And that's how that kind of transpired. And we got to a point where we all wanted the same last name. So I asked Cody if we could, for one, change our names, and he was totally fine with that. But then if something were to happen to me.
Did you get married yet at this point?
Yeah. So I went through really fast.
Skipped the whole marriage part.
Yeah. Well, everything was so fast. Like, we met in 2014, got engaged in 15, and then got married in 16. So it was all like bam, bam, bam. Okay, all right. We had a very small wedding on the beach in California. We did move out. So we had a small little...
How long were you living together before you got married?
So we moved in together in 2014 and married in 16.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I never wanted to hold Aaron back from his dreams, and his dream was always to move. So because Cody was gone, like had kind of left Carson's life, we picked up and we moved to California for a little bit just to experience different life. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, loved it. Everything was great out there. It was expensive, but it was all manageable. We basically came back here to visit, and Aaron got offered a promotion from McCarthy, is where he was working. They wanted him back so bad. They created a position for him. That's great.
So hold on. So is that how Aaron met Jake? Was through McCarthy?
Yeah. Okay. Aaron, he worked at Reed, I think was his very first car role, Randy Reed. Mm-hmm. And then McCarthy was the big, I loved when he worked for McCarthy. They were such nice people. Like
Which store did he work at? You know, that's the group I work for, right?
Yeah.
What store is he at?
The one in Shawnee Mission. Metcalf.
Yeah. That's Jake runs that store now.
I think I did know that because I did see, I did see him post, like it was probably a while ago or something. I just know you guys are like, in my head, I'm like, you guys are in charge of all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, because Jake's a sweetheart too. Yeah, we helped him with his mortgage for his house.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a stunning house. I always remember that because I thought it was so pretty. The unique features in it.
That was dicey there at the end. There was some, because he couldn't get his sold, and
it was dicey at the beginning. Yeah. But that's the thing with Aaron. It doesn't matter. He will get it done.
Yeah, he pulled it off for sure.
Aaron has been doing this now since 2020 because we started in COVID, which he started before COVID was there. I've yet to see him actually not close a deal. Like if he will always close a deal as it's getting going, he will know before if like, hey, you need to do this, or hey, we need to do that, or hey, if you can't provide this, we can't get it done. Right. He knows he is so transparent. So I've yet to see him fail. He's never failed at the table.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I've seen that with a lot of other loan officers though. Banks. Excuse me. So I have. So anyways, yeah, so as
you got married.
Yeah, so we got married. So I'll kind of circle back to like how I became how I am now. So again, I'm still improving my life. Like we're still
hold that thought for 1 minute. I need to throw something in here because I think it's important. because you kind of passed over it and almost, I don't know. So I'm really big on the combining finances, and I think it's very important. And there's a statement in all of this. And, you know, if you're watching this and you want to comment and tell me I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't know your story, I call bullshit, just so you know. Whatever you think your story may be, if you are married to the person that you want to be with and you trust this person, then you trust them with everything. That includes your finances. And I just think that you should combine your life entirely. And that is what a commitment looks like. Yeah. That's what a real relationship, a real marriage. And how you do anything is how you do everything. But, you know, if you're going to just, you know, I'm going to love you, I'm going to be faithful to you, but we're not going to share money. You're going to be that way with your spiritual life. You're going to be that way with your work life. You're going to be just 1 foot out for safety reasons. And, you know, I had James Krause on here, MMA fighter, the UFC guy, a couple times ago. And one of his last thing to leave with the world was, which I thought was so great, was when you give to people give yourself to people, give all that you got give so much of yourself that you're probably going to get your heart broke a few times, you know, meaning that some people they're going to lie, cheat, steal. You're just going to give so much value to them that they're going to mistreat you, or they're going to break your heart. But that's okay. That is okay, because you gave all of yourself. And listen, I think in marriages, that's what makes them work. If you're not willing to combine something as stupid and superficial as money, then you won't combine the rest of your commitment, period. And that's it. Just is what it is. I'm firm in that. And if you guys want to call me and argue with me, let's go. I'll go 10 rounds with you on that one. So good job on that. Yeah.
So this is what I always say about this, because we live in such a superficial world, where people always feel like they need to spend money and look a certain way. Money is like one of the leading cause of like divorce. But I always believed that this man came into my life, I came into his life, and we're doing this for each other. And there is a level of respect. That's the key to all of it, is this like level of respect. He's working so hard to like provide. I'm working so hard to provide my half, or my part, whatever you want to say. Yeah. I'm not going to disrespect him by blowing all his money. We always joke that I always could have, because he never checked it. He never did. That was always my part. And I have gone and bought brand new shoes and brand new bags and brand new stuff all the time. Absolutely. 100% could have. Nothing was stopping me. And I always joke that his name obviously is Aaron. Aaron's a unisex name. I could have obviously been an Aaron, could have racked up his credit. So, but I didn't, because I respected him. You have to respect your partner, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love your aspect of it. I've seen the dark side of it. I've seen it on so many levels. I've seen horrible divorces that have money put together and it ruined them. Like they've lost everything. I've seen people that hide money, and when they go through a divorce, mortgages aren't paid, and the other spouse didn't know that. I've seen people, because of their heart being torn up, they do keep money. They have stuff 50-50. And then I know many people like me that blends it all. So kind of like you said, everybody is going to do what everybody wants to do. So I've seen all aspects. For us, it just has always worked this way. Always. Yeah. Even when Aaron and I we've been together for going on 11 years. We're not perfect. We've had hiccups. We've had bumps in the road. Weirdly enough to say, none of it has ever, like money and all of that, has never been any cause or problem with it. We've never even had any issues with like sharing that kind of stuff. But going forward to us getting married, we moved back to Kansas City because he got a better job. It just made more sense. We were able to save a lot of money and save up to buy our first house together. And we spent that time of like, okay, I have this draw to fitness. I keep working out. I keep liking the gym. I don't know what I want to do with it, but I like it. I've lost all this weight. What do I do? So this guy at the gym came up to me and was like, you should do a bikini competition. I was like, what is that? So I met some coaches when I lived out in California. I really liked them. I liked their methods. They did virtual coaching. Mind you, this is 2016. And I was like, this is pretty fascinating. And I liked all their stuff. So I told Aaron, I sat him down. I was like, hey, I want to do this for 24 weeks. If I don't like it, I'll never do it again. If I do, great. But it's 24 weeks. I mean, come on. So we're both like, okay. We understood what bodybuilding took. We knew some other people that had done it. So, excuse me. But I was like, I did it. I dedicated to it too. I was like, if I'm going to pay for this, I'm going to pay for a coach. I'm going to pay for the shows. I'm going to pay for the travel because my first show was out in LA. I always thought it was fun to travel for shows. That way I could have a vacation with the boys.
Yeah. Mix it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go do a show on Saturday and then Sunday, Monday is vacation. So, oh my gosh, I locked in and I did it. I did all the stuff I was supposed to do. Yeah. And I got extremely.
Who was your first coach?
Ingrid Romero with Team Edge. She still coaches to this day, and I love her. She's great. It was a good for 2016. It was exactly what it should have been. So, and I looked like I should have been. All of it was great. And when I tell you, getting addicted to it is just not even the right word. It's just flat out like my calling. That this industry is my calling. And I did not discover that until 2021. And then I met you in 22. Yeah. And here's how I distinctly know that. I did this show and I was like, wow, this is fascinating. I did another show after that and it was terrible. I did another show a month after that. Mind you, 2016, we did not know what reverse dieting is. We did not know how to do this in a healthy manner. All this fun, this was not part of that. So I rebounded horribly and didn't know how to handle that. I tried to do another show, did terrible, looked terrible, just all that stuff. Was like, oh, this really isn't for me. I went through that whole phase. Mm-hmm. So terrible.
Yeah.
But after that, I was trying to figure everything out. Cause at that time, Aaron and I were like, okay, we're going to buy a house. We're going to figure out where we buy a house. We're going to figure out if we want more kids, all that kind of stuff. Whatever. We still weren't sure. I always like to say we were pretty nomadic. Just loving each other and living life.
Yeah.
So we found a house in Staley. We bought our first house in 2018. We moved there. And I had decided to go back to shows. I missed it. I could never put my finger on it. I still followed it on Instagram. I still talked to my coach. I still followed the Olympias. I followed all of it. I couldn't not follow it. I liked it. I genuinely liked the sport. Yeah. And I always was like, Dad, it's like my ESPN. I can't explain it. Yeah. I just got to keep watching it. So I did more shows and I did another show in Vegas. That was fun. And that was my turning point of okay, I think we want more kids. And Aaron's like, are you sure? So Aaron just was like, I'm not sure. Because we have Carson. Carson's getting older. And I was like,
you're out of the woods now.
I was like, I think. So then we talked about more kids, and I noticed it wasn't the easiest for us. So I wasn't really sure what was going on with that. We just weren't getting pregnant, and we're like, we'll just keep trying, whatever. So we kept trying. We weren't getting pregnant. COVID happened. We went to a fertility clinic. Nothing was wrong with either one of us, really. They just some of his numbers were low. There was no underlying factor. This was just astronomically frustrating because we were like, we want more kids, but at the same time, we have Carson, so we're happy, you know. But it's I still want more kids. And Aaron's like, well, I want to support you, but we're also fine. So I'm like, okay, we'll keep just living life, right? Yeah. So 21 happens. And again, I'm just still following the sport. Love the sport, watching everything, talking to people, working out, living life. And finally, I'm like, I didn't blow up my life, but I had a pivotal moment. I was like, there is something with this sport that keeps me coming back. Yeah. Since 2016, I got my certification in nutrition. I'm constantly involved as much as I can without actually being involved. I'm just kind of on the outskirts. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of 2021, I just was like, I'm doing it. And I'm not just going to do a show. I'm going to do this industry. And I want to be in it. Mm-hmm. So I hired a new coach. I told Aaron, I just want to dedicate myself to this. I was sick of the fertility stuff. And so I did. I was like, I'm going to go to seminars. I'm going to talk to more people. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to try new gyms. And I did all of it. I did all of that. I did 2 shows in 22. I met you. And then I did in St. Louis, and I did a South Dakota show. And I loved the production. So then I really pushed like wanting to talk to the promoter. And I did. I hounded the promoter. His name is Jack for NPC Midwest. And I was like, let me work for you. Let me work for you. Let me work for you. I want to learn it. He's like, are you sure? So finally I was like, yeah, come work a show and we'll see how it goes. I'm like, fine. And it worked. Like I did good, and we got along, and I worked as an expediter for 2 years. At that time, a couple months later, I finally had decided to start coaching. I take coaching very serious. So I did not want to jump like headfirst into like, oh, I did a show or 2. I got my certification. I can coach. I want to like be there for a long time and really help these women and really be a point in their life to know like, hey, you're not alone. Like I went through some pretty dark stuff. I've gone through some pretty dark stuff. You can do it too. Like you're not alone. Like whatever you're going through, like I promise you, like we can navigate and be the best version of you that you want to be for yourself. So kind of like supporting each other. Erin's just like, go do you. And I loved it because I never felt like I was suffocated, especially in a very male dominated industry.
Yeah.
I'm constantly surrounded by guys, and it is just beautiful that we support each other. Like he's like, go do the photo shoots, go do the seminars, go do the expediting shows, In 23, I took time off just to build. I didn't do any shows. I expedited. I coached. I started.
Has Aaron ever done a show?
Oh God, no, he never will. No. We just started meal prepping. Okay, listen.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. We're drinking our water. Okay.
Listen, he's going to be on Masters Olympia here before you know it.
Yeah. That would be great. But in 23, again, expediting, going to seminars. I started talking at seminars. I started getting invited to events. That was pretty surreal to me. Not just the talking at events. I got used to talking in big groups. Again, I came from low self-esteem, not very shy, would not smile that much. To now I'm speaking in front of hundreds of people. Is everything that you've done psychologically to overcome all that, is this all just been just life? You've just kind of taken control. So have you ever spent any time in therapy with psychologists or anything like that? Or not for that. Okay. I have for like we've done marriage counseling before just to like help with
maintenance.
Us. Yeah, but nothing as far as psychological as getting to the point where I'm at now. No, it's just been resilience.
You read?
Here and there,
audiobooks, whatever.
Yes, I do. I love. Okay, I was like, I do read, but I really like books.
Yeah.
Mine's like audio. Even right now, I'm actually reading one. Oh, it's popular too. I really like it. The Mountain Is You. I think I'm saying that right.
What is it?
I'm gonna like look.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Mountain Is You.
Not Mountain Is You. Okay.
You are the mountain or something. But it's a fantastic book, and it's about overcoming self-sabotage. And then I have a Bible book I read every day.
Love that.
It's actually called Zip It. It's really funny. The Mountain Is You. Yeah. Okay. The Mountain Is You. It's about self-sabotage and overcoming self-sabotage, because I struggled with that a lot this year. I still have mass struggles. And that was a big thing this year because our life kind of like flipped upside down this year. But 23, just focusing on giving. So like focusing on coaching, being the best coach I can, the podcast that was growing, wanting to bring awareness to women to be like, hey, like you can do this too.
What's the name of your podcast?
Bikinis After Babies.
I'll put a link in the comments below.
I love it. I love this.
Yeah.
It's our 2-year anniversary.
2 years. Wow.
I know. I made our post today.
I love that.
It was emotional.
How many episodes you guys got in?
79.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We did, our first year we did every week.
What's your rhythm of your drops? When do you do a new episode? Is it once a month, once every week?
No, so our first year we did every week. The second, this year we started every week. And then with me moving, and Jillian just manages a lot. She's a pro bikini competitor. So she did her pro circuit this year.
What's her last name?
Hughes. She lives out in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So she manages a household of like 5 kids. She's a cheer manager. She does a lot. She runs our team, Momshell Fitness. She does a lot. So we moved to like every other week this year. And then and I'm sure like you do this with this podcast. You kind of reevaluate and see what's working, what's not working, what's sustainable, what's not, how you want to grow it. And so that's what we do, of course, with our podcast. So we've talked about doing every week again for like upcoming years now that like everything's getting more situated. Because again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So backtrack. in 23, giving all to that. In 24, all of that plus going back to stage. So then I was doing coaching, podcasts, Bikinis After Babies podcast. I was expediting. So out of all the weekends of the year, there's 52 weekends of the year, I was gone for about 20 of them.
Oof.
Yeah. So I was traveling all over the Midwest, expediting, again, seminars, speaking at seminars. Carson was still playing competitive soccer, so we were still heavily involved in that. I remember he went to state, and I was in peak week for my show. Oh. Yeah, he got asked to go to state, so I was like, "You have to go," and it just falls on peak. So that was fun. I was doing my check-ins in the hotel bathroom.
I did the same for my show.
Yeah,
I was in Wichita doing it.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Good times. But you look back, because I've shared so much on this podcast. You look back at like where you've came from and where you started. And many times people look on social media and they're like, oh, they're just so perfect, or they just have it so made. Mm-hmm. I would have never met Aaron if it wasn't for myself taking control. I would have never been able to communicate with Carson's biological dad if it wasn't for me taking control and saying, I'm going to stop being so negative. I'm going to control my life through all the mass chaos, through being a broke single mom, all the chaos. It was like, no, I deserve better. It has to be better. And I'm going to take the steps for it to be better. I would never be able to do that. So
I think this is important to talk about right here, because I say this all the time. And I know, man, again, people like, you don't know my situation. You have a choice. You either do or you don't. Whatever, if you can, I have a choice to think positive or think negative. I have a choice to get up and go to work or call in sick. I got your life as it sits today is a culmination of choices over the last 5 years. And you can say 7, whatever. That's not a perfect math, but look at the last 5 years of your life, whoever you are, look at where you are today, look at the last 5 years of your life and be honest with yourself and think about the choices that you consciously made. And that's why you're in the position you're in now, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. And so if you don't like where you're at now and you can identify the shitty choices you've made over the last 5 years, change them today.
Yeah.
And just decide, if you eat like shit, the next meal you eat, don't let it be shit. Yeah. You have a choice to do that. Yeah. You have a choice. You can go to Aldi's and find food to eat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's a choice.
There is, and I cannot emphasize enough how astronomically hard it is, because I don't want people to say like, oh, you just did it. Like I lost friends. No question. I lost terrible friends. Don't get me wrong. They weren't great.
But it is what it is.
But but I look at my life now, and I have the most amazing circle of people in fitness and outside. It gives me chills just thinking about it, because I do. I have a beautiful circle of friends, family, but before I look at like the shitty choices, the shitty habits, all of it, and it's like I remember I went toe to toe with people I thought that were my friends, talking about how I wanted to better myself, and they had a little too much to drink, so I give them grace.
A little grace, yeah.
But I mean, they just ripped into me so hard, like of just like, and I would just be in tears, and Aaron would be like, no, they're shitty people. Like, yeah, right. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And he's like, no, it's really not. Like, It's really not okay. And it took me a long, long time to be like, yeah, it's not okay. Yeah, it's not. And I think as women, we're such people pleasers that to be the one that, you don't have to go as far as like, oh, I have to whip out my Tupperware at a table and eat my food. It's just as far as saying like, hey, I'm just not going to drink alcohol. I'm going to drink my drink. And that's what I always tell my clients. I'm like, I know it seems like a big deal, but make healthy boundaries and decisions for your self-efficacy, because when you start being able to trust you, I mean, that's a game changer. And I don't think people give that enough credit. There's so many times where it's like, okay, I'm going to not eat McDonald's today. And then 2 days later, they eat McDonald's. They're like, crap.
I'll tell you a funny story about McDonald's. I got some friends of mine that own like 8 or 9 McDonald's here in town. And he did a show, all 100% out of meal prep McDonald's food, just to prove a point.
Oh,
absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can, but
there's good choices you can make at McDonald's. You eat it grilled chicken patty without the bread. I mean,
there you go. Or like I've seen, I know my girlfriend will do like their, I just don't even, like, I think it's an egg sandwich, and she'll take off some of the bread and then just have like, it's like just egg and ham and like a little hash brown. It's just, it doesn't have to be, it's all choices, but it's once you start being able to give yourself goals, and then once you execute those goals, you trust yourself. It's kind of like a child and a parent. Like as a parent, you're always there for your kid, and your kid, my saying for Carson, this is actually my life saying for raising Carson because Cody was so chaotic. I always said, I want to be so reliable that I'm boring. I want my child to be able to say I'm boring. And when he told me, it was a couple years ago, and he told me I was boring, I'm like, oh my gosh, you just melted my soul. Because I want my kid to not know any different than mom is always there. Like it's not even a second. You don't even think like that. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing with yourself. When you know you can rely and trust on yourself, your habits, all you, like you have so much peace of like, I know that's not, you just know you're not going to do that. So it's just like really this beautiful thing that over time you develop into like a stronger person, and it just, you kind of blink and then you're in a position to where, like I said, I was speaking at seminars and I had a line of women who wanted to talk to me, and I'm like, it's just me. Yeah. Like, it's just me. And they just had endless questions about, all the stuff, everything. Sure. And I was so fascinated with like, here's all my stuff on Instagram. Just ask me questions anytime you want. Like always message me, and anybody listening, always message, always ask. Like I love being book. I love being able to be there for women because like I've been there. And again, I was there when social media wasn't how it is. So I was alone, and I'm like, you don't have to be alone anymore. Like nobody has to be alone. Like there's so many people like myself that are just like, we want to help you. We want to show you can do it. We want to hold your hand. We want to teach you. Cause gosh, social media and internet is just so much information overload. Like I had a client the other day who just came on with me who was like, I literally just need your help because I don't know all of the stuff. Like, cause it's just like the world is giving her so much information and she just doesn't know what is right and wrong. She literally said that to me.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I know that exactly. When I started writing my book, I was going to do it all on my own because I just didn't want any input because it was going to be overwhelming, right? And then finally, I'm like, I gotta get somebody to help me. So I got a writer, and I said, and she starts telling me all the things that I said, listen, Kathleen, here's what I need you to do. I need you to tell me whatever you need to tell me. And then when we're done at the very end of it, you tell me exactly what you need me to do. And that's it. And I can't, I'll listen to all the other stuff for context so I understand what you're doing. But at the end of it, I'm not going to pull you. Don't just assume that I'm going to walk away knowing what to do after that conversation. You have to say, okay, so Tony, recap. Here's what you're going to do this week. And she'll be like, you need to read chapters 1 and 2 and do this and do these. And I'm like, okay, done. So it's been really
I love that you're writing a book. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, it's good. We got the whole first draft, and I'll show you the cover when we're done. We just got the cover design today, actually.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. I'm finally, I had a hard time doing it because to step over the boundary of doing it because I'm so humble now, and I'm just, I'm different. I'm not this egotistical. I still have pride and I still have an ego, but it's not like it used to be, right? Sure. It's not about me much anymore, and kids and, getting back now. And so I just had a hard time telling people I'm writing a book about what? About myself. You know what I mean? It just sounds so narcissistic.
It's hard, but you're giving.
It is. And so giving. A girl came up to me, and Dominique, we were at dinner. She's like, Tony, they call me Tony Mike. She's like, Tony Mike, you have to write a book, because she knows my story, right? Yeah. She's like, your story is so amazing, just what you've done with your life. I'm just so proud of you. And then I started all the Stronger Leader stuff. She's like, you have to write this stuff in a book. And I'm just like, I said, Mary, there's been so many people that said that. And I was like, I looked at Dominique and she walked away. I was like, I think I'm going to do it. So I tasked Mary. I made her be one of the readers of the book and help me get with feedback. So cool. It's been kind of fun. But so anyway, that's we're there. But so I'm with you on all that, right? Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to be alone. Yeah. It's not. There's so many people out there that it's okay. And listen, I think personally, only because I've been through it, I think the battle scars and the battle that you've been through, when you finally come to grips with it and you're ready to face it and take it on, it's scary, it's daunting. Like when I took that night in the hotel room, when I got saved, heard the voice of God tell me to go home, I was excited to go home, asked my wife if I can come home. She said I can come home. But when she said I can come home, the reality hit that I have to change.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is going to be hard. And then over the next couple of days, I just remember laying in bed just crying as my compassion's coming back. I'm getting clarity because the drugs are wearing off. And the thing I'm thinking about is how am I going to repair these relationships and earn people's trust back? And, you know, people know I've been living this life. There's a lot of people, not Dominique, but there's a lot of people who know that I was living this double life between women and drugs and gambling and all that, right?
Yeah.
And so how am I going to convince, you know, my wife believes in me that I'm going to do it, and she's forgiven me and accepted me back. But no one else is going to believe that I'm going to do it. And no one else, everybody. And for her, I'm afraid that they're going to think she's an idiot, right, for taking me back. And then, so now I'm wrestling with all this stuff. And so the reason I'm saying all that is there's going to be a lot of women that are probably going to watch this, and they're in that, like, I don't even know the first step. Because when I cried out to God, and I said, God, what have I done to my family? I was crying hysterically. And I said, God, I don't even know how to get them back. Tell me how to start. I don't even know the first step. And that's when I heard the audible voice of God say, go home. And that's it. Right. And so it was beautiful. I just needed the one step, right? Go home. So if anybody's watching this and you're there, you need help, you know, and Mandy can help you, you know, if you're a woman and you're looking for, it's not about the physical piece. That's just like a tool. It's a vessel to help you get your life back.
It's about building the habits to make you be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you've had a baby when you were 16. I don't care if you were a drug addict. I don't care if you were beaten, raped, killed, but it doesn't matter what happened in the past. If you're ready to do something different and you choose to, reach out to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I'm always here.
Yeah.
Always.
Right. So let's talk about your coaching business. Like, what is it? It's got to be fulfilling, right?
Oh.
Tell me about the first time when you got results for a client and it was just like, and they were thanking you and just like, you've changed my life. You know, I know you probably remember that. And it was like, this is what it's about, right? Yeah. It's better than any dollar, right?
Oh yeah. No, I have, it's not a joke, but I have a saying that which I don't, I've never gambled. I've actually never gambled in my life. So I've never bought a lottery ticket. I'm just saying, but if I happen to win millions of dollars, I would still wake up tomorrow morning and do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So that's how I know what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because of that, most people would quit.
Yeah,
right?
It's funny because I'm reaching out to some of these influencers and talking, and I'm getting some coaching advice back, you know, and they're like, you know, so what are you doing? What's your product? What are you selling? What do you offer? I'm like, I don't have anything to sell. I'm not trying to sell. I'm not trying to be a public speaker. I just want to make an impact in people's lives because I spent so many years of my life, you know, helping somebody try drugs for the first time. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to help somebody take that first step of being not addicted to drugs anymore. You know what I mean?
Being their best self.
I have a great job. I work for the McCarthy Group, and I get
Dominique Smith. People.
Yeah, I mean, I do fine financially. This has nothing to do. If I can generate some revenue off this thing, so I can put money back into it and advertise and make the reach bigger, that would be the only thing I would care for additional revenue. You know, I got all these T-shirts and merch and all this stuff. I don't sell any of it. And whatever. If somebody wants to give me money, give me some money. I'll put it back into the podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly how Bikinis After Babies is. Like it's our passion project. It's our baby. It's our way of giving to the community.
Yeah.
Well, the world, because it's the platform that you can speak. It's funny when I'm sure you look at your analytics. When we look at our analytics, I'm like, do you know people are watching us in Australia? And it's like the most fascinating thing because it's like, if we could just help one person, you know,
no
we help. That's like what's important to not. The messages we get from that are just, they're just like, they melt my heart of like, I listen or I watch you doing, you know, while I'm doing cardio or in the morning, and it's just so good to know there's other moms out there, and I'm like. This is the whole purpose. So, do
you have any standout transformations? Like, what's your most favorite one? Like, rags to riches type deal, like major. You don't have to say names if you want to protect the innocent.
No, I have Well, I have several transformations, but I have a full circle one that it's not necessarily about. I mean, it is a beautiful physical transformation, but it's more. I think it's kind of bigger than that. But before that, my coaching business. So, I'm part of a team. I'm part of Momshell Method Fitness.
I love that name, Momshells. That's great.
I know. Go Jillian for creating that 19 years ago.
That's great.
Bikini dinosaur. And I'm totally going to sniff this so she can hear it. So anyways.
That's what she says. She's a bikini dinosaur.
We have a joke. It was an episode on our podcast because you think about back to magazines when that's how you found out about bodybuilding shows. And bikini didn't come into the bodybuilding space till 2008 or 9 was the first time bikini. It was only figure. And so back then you could only do figure and you'd have to like mail. It was like this whole thing she explained because she did that. And so she's like, I'm a bikini dinosaur. I did everything by paper. So anyways, we so that was I 22 shortly after 22 at the mid or end, I knew I was ready to be a coach. And again, I had known for years people would do a show or start a trainer and they'd be like, I'm a coach, and they'd put themselves out there and they'd last less than a year and then they'd fizzle out. I have, well, I guess I don't have any more because it's conquered, but this phobia of I never want to do that. My goal is to really impact women, help women, and just, and in any way. I wasn't sure about being a bodybuilding coach yet. I just wanted to like get my feet wet, learn the process. So I have I call it a silent business. So Aaron's a mortgage broker. We also have a mortgage processing business. We have a real estate business. We have investment properties. So like we have silent businesses. So I know what I don't want to do. I'll put it that way when it comes to a business and all of that. So it was really just, I have so many friends that are trainers. So I'm talking to them. I'm kind of learning, like people that I respect. I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I had ran into Jillian several times at several different shows because she's been in the space for 20 years. And so I reached out to her. We knew each other in passing. And I was like, hey man, like, can I pick your brain about a few things? Like I have just wondering, especially as a woman, like being in this space for so long. Cause I really only know a bunch of guys in this space for so long. She was like, well, I'm actually growing my team and I would love for you to come on and I'll mentor you and all this stuff. I was like, this is absolutely perfect for me because it's exactly what I want. I want a mentorship. I want to learn from something that's been in the business for a long time. I want to be able to help women, and what better of a way than to have so many different eyes who've learned for so many years where if like something happens or I get stuck, and we can come together and be like,
great network.
Yes. And it's helped tremendously for so many different avenues. So I start that, in a nutshell, is like the start of my coaching. And that's how it started. And she does, the framework and everything as the business aspect on the back end, which is what I did not want to do. Yeah. I just want to coach. I just want to serve. Yeah. I do. And I love it. I love it every day. So as far as like
how many people are on the team? The Momshell team?
It's, oh my gosh. So it's obviously Jillian. Then you have Brooke, Kate, Erica, myself, Julie, 6. So there's 6 of us.
Territorial? Are you guys, are you spread out that? Or is
little bit. Okay. So Julie is our newest coach. She's in Florida. Okay. I'm the only one here in Kansas City. And then the other girlies are in St. Louis kind of area. St. Louis, Illinois, like right there. Got it. That's kind of where Momshell started that is where Momshell started was St. Louis. So we all have different kind of aspects of coaching, I want to say. We all can do lifestyle. We all just have different like niches a little bit, different connections, different styles. So it really works when it comes to building our rosters, rather it's like from us or people listening to the podcast or people that have just like been known Momshell for as long as it's been around, again, 20 years, so that's always great. So growing that was just growing as a coach was fascinating. It was so nerve-wracking because like I think every coach will go through this. It's like, I don't want to hurt anybody. Yeah. Like I don't want to hurt. Everything is virtual. I customize training. I customize nutrition plans, macros, supplements. So everything is customized to the client. We have an app that they have 24/7, and then therefore they have 24/7 access to us because they can message us on the app. We do weekly check-ins, and so my first year, I did lifestyle, and then I had my first bodybuilding client, and I will say it was a dream because there was no hiccups. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know I do know how to do this. Right. So we're going to do this.
And you've competed, so that helps.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It absolutely helps. So I know again, the meat and potatoes of it. I know, especially, I can't emphasize this enough. I know women because I am a woman.
Yeah.
So
right. Note to self.
I know so many male coaches and I love them. They're very nice men. Unless they take the time to really know women. Yeah. It's tricky. They don't know our hormones. We are not bodybuilders. There's so many times that I know a lot of guy trainers that will just do a bodybuilder's diet in training and slap it on a bikini competitor and call it a day.
It's not good.
No. No. I mean, if I stick you in a deep enough deficit and train you to be like nothing, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's that going to do to your hormones? It's a recipe for disaster. So, but it coasted very well. She did really well. Going back to what you said, the gratitude, the appreciation, she made me like cute little gifts. It was just like, it was so amazing. And at the end of the day, I'm like, but you gave to me. Like I gave this to you, but you gave you to me.
Yeah,
like
you trusted me.
You trusted me.
And
and
with your life, really.
Yeah. And I'm like, this was just so beautiful, And I love going to the shows with my clients, being backstage with them, helping them. We check on them the Friday night before. We do so much work with them, and I love it. I love every aspect of it. And
you feel maternal in doing all that. I'm sure. Yeah.
I felt maternal. Oh, being an expediter, 100%.
Yeah.
Moms are the best expediters. Like because you're
taking care of a bunch of meathead dudes that need a mom.
Oh, and they're so depleted, and everybody has brain fog. Everybody's trying, and a lot of it's their first shows. And you have I'm almost 5'7", and I'm going toe to toe with like a 6'3", like 200 plus pound bodybuilder who's like mad. Yeah, I'm like, no, listen,
pipe down, buddy.
Listen, this is what and then they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, exactly. So being maternal in this sport is very helpful.
I'll never forget the lady that had the little roller right before you go on stage that touches you.
Your tanner, yeah.
Right before you go on stage, and she's
great.
She's like, come here, honey. Let me touch you up. Come on, you're good. You look great. You look fantastic. She was just like, so it was mom.
Liquid Sunrise was great for the St. Louis show. Yeah. They care so much. They're so attentive, and they know, especially for guys, we call it melting. Their tan will start melting, because they're sweat. And so they're always there to touch them up and make sure they look good. Yeah. So Liquid Sunrise is awesome. But tell
me about your favorite
I just think this is such a cute story.
Okay.
And gosh, you may know them. I'll tell the story and then I'll say their names because they'll love it. Okay. So rewind back when I had Sunday Fun Day at the pool.
Yeah. Okay.
So rewind all the way back there.
All right.
So I would go to Sunday Fun Day, and even before I met Aaron, I would go with my brother. We'd go play volleyball, whatever. There was this guy there, and I recognized him from going to the gym, and I recognized the group of people from the gym, whatever. He was really orange, and I was like, Glenn, why is he so orange? Because I didn't know him that well, but I knew my brother knew him. And Glenn's like, oh, well, no, he does bodybuilding shows. I'm like, oh, okay. And again, I hadn't gone to the gym enough like that, so I'm like, what? So he's orange, and then of course volleyball. Then we met and whatever, and I went to Aspen, and then I think it was Gold, if I remember. And then I met, lots of girls there, and the girls followed my journey, and we chit-chatted. So, okay. So now bring you back to, technically it was last year. So that guy that was orange, his name is Andrew Jaworski. Do you know him?
I think I do know that name.
Yeah. So his wife, Amber Jaworski, she had followed my journey before they had ever met.
I've seen her journey through you on. Okay.
So I knew him before I'd ever gone to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I met her throughout just going to the gym or whatever, and she had to tell her follow my story. They got married, started a family, everything. She wanted to do her first bodybuilding show. She was ready to do one. And they both were like, Mandy.
Yeah, that's great.
I just thought that was so cool.
Cute is that?
And she's a great client. She's had a great transformation. She's done 2 shows this year, and super proud of her. But the full circle moment of I met him on my Sunday Fun Day days.
Yeah, those are God winks.
And it's exactly. So, and her, just through the journey of the gym, and then she followed my journey, and both of them on separate occasions, and they met, married, they had life,
so
all this stuff.
I love that.
In full circle, like they both, when she was ready to do her first show, she's like, well, Mandy, and he's like, Mandy. And it's like, and she reached out to me, we started working together. I just thought it was a great story. So the full circle moment of that was just, it was great. Like you blink and so much time goes by, and life is like really what you put into it. So, so what, we're ending 2025. That's crazy to me.
So let's back up for a second. Well, maybe not back up. Maybe we can pick up right here. So, because life isn't perfect, and you don't have it all together, and you don't have this fairy tale life, and you live a real life that has challenges. And so, recently you've gone back through the fertility stuff, right? So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I actually,
where are you at with that right now?
I'm actually going to ask you real fast. When is this episode going to air?
A while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, hold on. There's a technical answer to that.
Okay.
It will be live. I can keep it private though.
No, it doesn't matter. I was just curious.
Yeah. So because I'm trying to get the watch hours up, I'll be transparent here. I'm trying to get the watch. So I'll edit it and it'll be ready and it'll be live. I won't like announce it on all my social, like, hey, this episode for like probably 2 months from now, because I'm so far backlogged, but it will be live and up and on the channel, and I'll send you the link. You can share it, put it on yours. Yeah,
okay.
Whatever.
So about 2 months time frame. Okay.
Yeah.
So that way I can like make sure.
But it's going to be live. So I'll give you the link when I'm done editing it'll be up.
Okay.
All right.
So, yes, I love to talk about that, especially you couldn't have picked a better day, because today I even made a post today. I just made a post this morning about it. So,
tell me you're pregnant.
No,
no,
I am not.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to be like, I'm pregnant.
Oh gosh, no.
All right.
No. So, we decided, so last year I competed in 2 shows. Remember, I had been expediting, traveling, all this stuff last year. It took a toll. It took a toll on me. It took a toll on my family. Aaron, he's not an emotional person. I'm the one that's very emotional. So he came to me in the summer of last year and was like, I miss you. Like, I miss you. And this is we don't get in each other's way of growing business, but he was like, So
I love that. Speak up.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take a step back from competing. I think we should really we're just getting older. We should really put an emphasis on exploring, like really having kids. Like, I really think we need to do this. So he was like, okay, let's do this. So I had talked to Jack, the promoter. I was going to finish out that year of expediting, then I wasn't going to expedite this year. You can't commit to that schedule. He was totally supportive. So we went back to the fertility clinic, and it just wasn't good. So his numbers weren't good. I'm getting older, and they were just like, if you've been trying for this long, unprotected, and nothing's happening, you need to go the route of IVF. And it just destroyed me because I knew what that meant. He did not. So I knew how expensive that was, because we have insurance, but our insurance isn't going to cover that. We're self-employed. Right. So I was devastated. I knew exactly what that meant. And we went home that night and talked about it. And I was like, we should do it. We have to do it. We need to do it. We got to keep going. And he's like, I want to support you. He's like, this is $30,000.
Yeah.
It's you just write a check to them.
And there ain't no guarantee.
Oh, no. And I will do this as short as I can and explain how not only is it not guaranteed, but all the steps of stuff failing are highly more likely than any of it making it.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, during this process, we had the opportunity to purchase our farm. And this was a big deal because we knew we wanted to get out of a subdivision, and we knew we wanted to start creating investment properties. So we had the opportunity to do IVF, also move to our farm. And I'm like, okay, all of this is doable. And at the same time, I was checking off some boxes, in life. I had been checking off college credits. Okay. And just as it fit my schedule, I was like, why not apply to nursing school? I did this a while ago. I got into nursing school, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, all of these I look at life like I kind of just kept working with my head down for so long that everything I've been trying to do just kind of fell. Like all of these options, all of these opportunities, all of this stuff, my husband's dreams, he's, wanting to do like all of this. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we got to figure all of this out. And I was trying to manage and juggle and then also keep coaching the podcast, everything. I'd taken a step back from expediting. I wasn't going to compete. So we moved, we got that situated. It was and is a lot because we went from living in a suburb to rehabbing an entire farmhouse, downsized into a really bougie camper. I hate our camper. It's super it's cozy. It's super cozy but at the same time, it's also like we just downsized from a 3,000 square foot like house.
Yeah, and you're like 200 square feet camper.
Our cute little like it's so insane. And to rehab this whole farm, it's our dream, his dream, our dream. It's both of our dreams, but mainly like I want this for his legacy. We're creating a business out of the entire property. So, Airbnbs, cabins, it's private dirt bike park, private hunting, leasing.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's a lot. I'm very excited and happy that we're doing it, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Nonetheless.
So move out through IVF. You have to check some boxes before you start IVF. You have to do a lot of tests. It's a lot. I want to say it's invasive for females. So like obviously guys don't have to do anything. Put it that way. They just don't. So the girls.
My wife says all the time, I want to die and come back as you. That's what she tells me. I told her the other day for Thanksgiving. I was like, it was great.
I swear. If this was a whole nother episode, the rant I could go on how the pharmaceutical company of IVF is just totally geared to make money off women because they're the reason a lot of infertility reasons are men. It's not women, but women have to deal with it and all the money is there. Yeah. When men can be, there's so many things that they can fix. The books I've read and the shit. Like, it's so not fair, but it's money. So it is what it is. So, I had to get my tubes checked, my uterus checked. I had some scar tissue, had to get that removed. That's like a little minor surgery. So I had to check some boxes. Boxes got checked. That was done. I made the decision that for my business, my career, nursing school wasn't right anymore. It's one of those things in my early 20s that I was kind of just like, oh, I should do this, especially in the bodybuilding community, wanting to learn about, hormone health, all of that stuff. We kind of live in a day and age where you can do certifications, classes, other types of education that'll teach that more instead of nursing and then having to work like a full-time job. So we decided that wasn't the best route anymore and took that off the table, focused on the farm. So we started IVF, and IVF, there's two parts to it. The first part is called like the stimulation. So you have about 2 weeks where you do stimulation injections because the idea is to grow eggs, as many as possible. Mm-hmm. For those listening that don't know reproductive health, women cycle 1 egg per cycle. Okay. Sometimes 2, but mainly 1. The goal with IVF is to grow as many, as fast, as big as possible. And so you're injecting hormones in your stomach, you're taking hormones, and you're getting uterine scans and blood work done like every other day for about 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I basically got a meal plan of medication as if I was on prep. That's what, instead of a nutrition plan, I got a medicine plan. So I did it. My stomach hated it. It bruised so bad. Like the injections were fine. They didn't hurt. They were, insulin needles, but my stomach just bruised. So during that process, all the things that can go wrong are nuts. Your hormones can be all over the place. Your eggs cannot develop. All of it is just nuts. So, I guess we decided not to do the $30,000 clinic. We found another clinic in Colorado Springs that does it for like a fraction, but we have to do a lot of work, advocacy ourselves, which was totally fine for me. So that just to kind of say that we did do that, just a different clinic. Mm-hmm. So do all the scans, do everything. Everything's going fine. Everything's great. So then you do an egg retrieval, little minor surgery. You go under, and they take all the eggs you grew. Mm-hmm. So we did the egg retrieval. I got 4 eggs. And then out of the 3, statistically only, or out of that, however many you get, statistically only 50% of them make it. So I got 4, then 3 after fertilization made it. And then after growth, they grow for 5 days. They called blastocyst. 5 to 6 days. 2 made it. And then genetic testing, they take genes from both of them, ship those off, and then freeze them. Once we got the genetic testing back, one was normal. So we got kind of lucky with like 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That's just life.
Yeah.
So then from there, we took a pause. There's just so much stuff going on with the farm. There was a lot of we have workers out all the time, working on the house, working on, livestock stuff, getting our offices ready. So we took a pause for like 2 months, like summer into fall. I wasn't ready to continue. I was very scared. If you get really stressed out, it can just mess with a lot of stuff. So I was scared. Aaron was supportive. He was a little upset, but he was supportive. So then I made the decision to start again. And when you go through IVF, there's a lot that goes into this. You have a lot of outside voices. You have a lot of the community that you put yourself in because you want support.
Yeah.
I want to say an all or nothing mentality. Usually a lot of women that start IVF, and I met some great women. I actually, a girlfriend from St. Louis I met, she's, like 20 weeks pregnant now. I'm so happy for her, like
great.
through IVF. She's fantastic, but I've read a lot of stories, met people, and they just keep going. And I told myself, and I promised this at the beginning, that I would only give 1 year to this because I'm very blessed to already have a child. I've gone through pregnancy. I've gone through labor, delivery. I've gone through newborn. Like I'm blessed with this.
Yeah.
So I promised myself this year. So we decided to do the second part. So the second part is basically getting myself ready for the transfer. So same thing, only instead of hormone injections in my stomach, they have to do progesterone injections, which are in my glutes. So Aaron had to do because I couldn't reach. And that was every night with a really big needle. Along with a lot of hormones again. I'm talking injections, oral, suppositories, hormones, morning, noon, and night. Wow. It's never stopping.
Yeah.
Everything was going fine though. Everything was fine. Honestly, this process was pretty beautiful. The whole, we're going to do our transfer. This is very exciting. Like we're doing it. I have pictures of it. We spend the day together. The next day we do the transfer. The process is like 20 minutes. They come in,
a lot of build up,
done. I mean,
that's it.
Actually, I don't even think it was 20 minutes. It was probably more like 10. But it was just a very beautiful thing. It brought Aaron and I to like a level of closeness that we had never been before. And it was just so great. And for this short period of time, I was pregnant because you are pregnant until proven wrong after this because you have the screen showing that they implanted an embryo.
Yeah.
So the day before Halloween, I wasn't pregnant. It didn't take. So, of course, we were devastated. We were very upset. Everything was done. We had started this journey and it was done. And, we spent time and everything. And again, this is kind of like you said this a couple times. God winks at you.
Yeah.
So my son is 16. He is very, I'm not sure. How old are your kiddos again?
16, 14, she'll be 15 soon. So 16, 14, and 10.
Have you heard of the North Caps program?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I used to take a lot of those kids when I used to run Reed for a little bit, Randy Reed. Okay. So I used to take, yeah.
So Carson got into the North Caps program for this semester for technology. Carson is I almost want to use the word gifted at tech. And I mean cybersecurity, building bots, building computers.
That's cool.
Coding. He's sold code before already. He's been doing this since he's 10.
I love it.
He's gone to summits he actually stopped playing soccer because he has so much more, and that broke my heart, but I've had to let it go. But he has so much love for this. He says his love for this, soccer doesn't even compare anymore to this.
Wow, that's
so I've had to accept it.
Yeah.
So he got into North Caps, North Caps, I will almost go as far as to say it kind of changed his life a little bit.
That's awesome.
It's
a good program.
We did virtual school, so we took him out of Staley, and he went to North Caps and having to dress up every day, Monday through Friday. He buttoned up, slacks, dress shoes, and treating them like little professionals in their space. He had to make projects, speak in front of people. He has to do all this stuff. He grew up. He has no desire to partake in any bad friend groups. Childish stuff. Perfect way to say it. He was so excited to get his first job. He got the opportunity to interview for Oracle. They just didn't have an internship program, but this internship that he wanted was called for Integex. It's a tech company. They do a paid internship, then they also do an apprenticeship, and then they pay for your college. They do all this stuff.
Wow.
Carson was like, I need this in my life. And that kid, he just was so excited for this interview, got the internship. He now, January 12th, Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, gets to go work at a tech company.
That's great.
As
at
a 16.
That's awesome.
As their IT guy. And I'm like, so good. You are years ahead of like
everyone.
Yeah. And he's like, this needs to be my life. And so all of this was going on while I was going through IVF. And then
I was 22 to 26. I was in maximum security penitentiary. So 22 to 26.
I was going to ask you after the podcast because I honestly didn't know you had spent time in jail. Prison. But that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Look at you. Yeah. So during this time, listening and Carson and I are best friends, super close. So he's talking my ear off, too. And then he spends time with this girl. He has a little girlfriend, and he talks about family, and he starts talking about life, and he starts talking about his kids and how he wants a family before he's 30. Actually, he wants a family at 25. But, it's just, we're talking about this, and it hits me. Like, I can't explain how it hit me like a ton of bricks. I could be a grandma in less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know where you're going with this.
And I'm like, yes. Do I want more kids? Do I want a big family? Of course I do. But
you're going to get to.
Yeah. There was always something with IVF that bothered me. And it's because we don't have any underlying issues. That we have what's called secondary infertility, where people that already have a kid already have a kid that are trying to have another kid just can't get pregnant. We have no problem.
Yeah, right.
I understand people with endometriosis, PCOS, all these issues, male factor fertility. So I'm sitting here like, why am I pumping myself through all of these hormones, all of this stuff, when we don't even have a technical problem to try to solve a problem that is already standing in front of my face, already succeeding? It's just, I had this like fulfillment of that I thought was empty for a while. And now watching my son prosper and grow and building this farm and building businesses and all this stuff, it just was like, I'm there.
Yeah, you got purpose.
I'm there. I'm in the space that my heart is where it had been chasing for a very long time. And now I just feel like I'm more clear of just, it's already right here. I'm already where I wanted to be.
So I got to know then because you said you've been getting closer with God in the last year. Did this stuff kind of start bringing you closer to God, and you think that I mean, I know the answer just because I know God, that it's, you're able to palate this loss, so to speak, or this change of plans that it's not going the way that you thought it was going to, you're able to palate it better because maybe you have a spiritual understanding that hey, God's got a better plan for you.
So I love this. I love that we can talk about this openly. Yeah. So a lot, kind of like entrepreneurship, a lot of the work starts in the dark, not where a lot of people don't see.
100%.
So that's kind of how it happened with me. There was, of course I talked to Aaron about this. I was like, I have this thing, this calling, this voice, not sure, that I want to learn more about God. I want to learn more about spirituality. I can't put my finger on it, but I want to learn more. I am nowhere near ready to go to a church. I don't even know how to go to a church. I don't know how to find one. So
you're invited to go with us.
I'd love to go with you guys, but I do have a church now that I love very dearly.
Right. Where are you going?
Vineyard in Smithville.
That's where we started.
Really? Mm-hmm. Love that. Yeah. I love the pastor.
That's where I was baptized.
Oh, that would have been so cool to see your baptism. I love when they do
Father's Day, that first year of sobriety.
Oh. Oh, that almost... We always get really teared up when we see the baptism.
I do. I cry like a baby. I cry every morning at when we're worshiping at church. I got my hands up. I sit front row.
I get teary eyed.
I cry every time.
Yeah, I don't ever. I used to when I first started. Oh yes, and then now this last Sunday I got pretty teary eyed because of the topic, and just I love Vineyard. I love how he preaches, and I love the openness. It just makes me feel, beyond, it makes me feel closer to God, but it makes me feel so just open. And so it just in the right place.
So let's talk about that spiritual awakening.
Yeah. So there was something at the end of last year with, I want to say it was fertility, because now that I look back on it, and now that I have gone to therapy for this.
So was the Halloween of realizing that you weren't pregnant anymore this year?
Yes, that was just this happened.
Okay.
So I had just now the last this year had started going to therapy for this, and to help me through this, because it beat me down, down. It was so bad. But so when we moved and got situated after moving, Can
you hold this thought? Because I think it's important for people to know the strength in what you're talking about here. You're down, beat down, and you're coaching at the same time.
Yeah.
And so this is important. It is hard, but it's possible. And it's possible because when you can, kind of be selfless for a minute, you can compartmentalize yourself for a moment to give to someone else. Your feelings they're not going to go away.
Yeah.
Right? You can be the poor me, the pity. Because I'm going to tell you, I know in my ministry work and the things that I do, my life, I have a big giant target on my back. The devil's after me because I was one of his best soldiers for a very long time.
Yeah.
And now I'm not. Now I'm his worst enemy.
But he wants you back.
He wants me back. Bad. And so daily, there's a target on my back daily, and I go through battles daily. And there's times where I've gone through and I've had some great people lined up for the podcast, and something will happen that day. I'm like, I don't even want to do the podcast tonight. And I'm like, nope.
You got to do it.
Not today. And I push through it, right? Because I know that's what the devil wants. He wants to isolate you. He wants to take it to where you can't do the good stuff that you're doing. And so if you're going through something right now, anybody that's out there, and you are you have a job, you have children, you have people to care for still, in spite of the things you're going through, still do it. Still step up, lean in, man up, especially men, right? I get it, guys. Life's hard.
Yeah.
Life's hard, but you still got to be a good husband and a good father and all that. You're stressed, work sucks, all that stuff. I get it. But your kids' game's tonight, and you better make it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Don't be a loser.
Yeah, it's difficult, but yes,
it is difficult.
Having to show up for the podcast, having to show up for clients, and I will say it was even more difficult knowing, because I shared my IVF journey, that my clients knew what was going on with me. So I'm like, I don't want them to feel sorry or worry about me. So that even was difficult. I'm like, no, during the shots and the medication, I'm fine. I really am fine. Am I all the hormonal problems? Sure. Yeah. I'm tired and weak and all of that,
right.
But I'm fine,
Right.
So having to still keep giving is still just as rewarding.
Yeah.
I just happen to be going through something at this time. Nobody is perfect. I'm not going to have a perfect life and a perfect year and be able to constantly, we're humans. We're going to go through stuff. Everybody is.
Yep.
So when we moved and got situated, I found it at Target. That's what it was. So I went to Target and I found this 52-day book. It's a little book of you read, you don't read verses, but it gives you little homework, and it reads about the homework and
little
stuff.
Devotionals. And
yes. Yeah. So I was like, if I can do this for 52 days, it's something, right? Because I hate journaling. We'll just put it that way. Yeah. I am not a journaler.
Me neither.
So I've tried. It's not me. So I'm like, if I can do this and then make little notes for 52 days, it means something. I was the same way with working out. If I can do this, then I'll reward myself for buying workout clothes. I'm like, I have to show proof in the pudding before I'm not just there has to be something,
Yeah.
So I did it. And I did it for 52 days. And I did it every morning. I made it part of my morning routine. And I did it. And I was like, okay. And then it was done. And I was like, now what? Now what do I do? And I was like, I got to keep doing this. And so I tried a few different apps. I tried a few different podcasts. Still it wasn't working. But I was seeking something. And I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know how to find a church. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was a spirituality in this voice. There's something large, there's something bigger in life, and I need to keep going towards it. I need to keep figuring it out. So, my book was done, and the pause of the IVF kind of was occurring at this point, and it was just hard. Everything was so hard. we were having issues with workers on our property. We were having issues just with like being far out, you know, just different lifestyle.
Attacks.
Yeah.
Attacks from the enemy.
And it was causing such a task on Aaron, and it was on our marriage. It was just so much. And we both just were like exhausted and cranky, and it just was, And I tried to get another book. It wasn't the same. And I think it took me a minute. And then I finally, again, like I said, I was like not in a good mental space. I was in a pretty dark place. I was mad at my body. I was mad at fertility. I was frustrated with stuff going on at the property. Our marriage was just like annoying at the time because we were both exhausted and cranky. Carson was fine. I think as teenagers, you know, they're kind of in their own little world. Yeah. So it's not like mom and dad are screaming at each other. And like, that's right. Not, you know? So I have a good group of girlfriends, and one of my girlfriends is really active in her church. And every time we hang out, she kind of like talks about it, you know? And so I'm like, I have to do something. I was like, well, I'll just go to church with Carla. And
shout out Carla. Good job, girl.
So I reached out to Carla. I was like, hey, can I go to church? And then my other friend was like, let's go. Let's all go. I'm like, okay, cool. So we went to their 11:30 service. And at first it was a lot. Like, it was a lot to take in because, again, never gone to church. So
loud rock music in the beginning.
Yeah, it was so much. I loved the preaching, and I like got teary-eyed, and it was great. And then even after that, I was like, I don't know if I'll go back. I don't know. Like, I wasn't sure. And so, of course, a week goes by, and something just called me back. And I was like, I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just going to go. Like, just am. So I went again. Made
another choice.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go.
I'm seeing a pattern here with you, Mandy. A lot of really good choices.
I went, and like, you know, you get teary-eyed, this is how Aaron goes with me now, of course, but at first he didn't, start going. It was very hard for him to go because same thing's just not raised like that. And, it all became, every time I go, it's like God is speaking to me, and it became so clear to stop forcing what you think your path is supposed to be and just give it to God. Like, just give it. Like, stop. Of just stop trying to do what you think you're supposed to do or you feel like you're supposed to. And it's so weird to say because we're all like, I love this. We're all the main characters of our story, but we're not the main characters of our story. God's the main character of our story. And if we just give ourselves to him, he will lead us down what we're supposed to be doing. And when I started thinking like that, everything just became clear. Yeah. And it was just like all of these things that like were so heavy and so weighing on me and just bringing me down. And it was causing me to like really just not like myself anymore. And just like we're starting to go away. It didn't go away overnight, of course, but it was like, no.
Bear my yoke and your burden will be light.
Yeah. And it was like, no, this is it. This is what it is. This is what I've been like, not like maybe missing. I can't, it's hard to find the right word sometimes to describe it, but it's like, this is what it is. This is what I had been seeking for years and didn't know.
It's missing. That's exactly, you're right. Yeah.
Like finding the words are still extremely difficult.
Well, that's what we try to teach people all the time. And I try to guide people down that when you're empty, you're trying to fill a void. Jesus is like the master hole plugger. I don't care if you need a boyfriend, call Jesus. You need a girlfriend, call Jesus. You need that's what he does. He's just absolutely fills any void in your life, you know. And it's that love. It's love, right? And that's what it is. And
it's that fulfillment. And I feel like I had this void for a long time, and I mean, for years, it's just like I had no idea what it was, you know, and you're trying to find things to plug it or, you know, and now I feel like, no, it's crazy to say because you never say this in the bodybuilding world. It's like, no, I'm enough. Like, I'm enough.
Yeah, right.
You know, in the bodybuilding world, you're like, no, we're never enough. We got to keep going. So I know in that world, we're always like striving for a certain physique, but like, it's like, no, in you know, life, like I'm enough and my life is enough. And, you know, I talked to Aaron and he loves going to church now too. And he opens himself up, but I talk to him and I'm like, when we go back to the IVF stuff, it's like, no, what if we just keep living? Like, let's just, and I get very leery, I get careful talking about this with IVF, because in the IVF community, it's very much like, just keep going, because that next one could be your baby. That next one could, and I love that. And I totally get it. And I absolutely believe that's for some people. And I think they should keep going. And they should spend time in the years.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, you're not stopping out of a defeat. You're stopping out of a realization.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's very different. And it at first it felt like a failure of like, okay, I knew in my head, I'm not continuing IVF, but to say that out loud and to admit it and to like put that into the atmosphere, it felt like admitting defeat and failure and a letdown, really, because the goal of IVF is the baby. But for me, it was just like, no, you did what you thought was right. We did what we thought was right. We tried and tried and tried. And now it's time to just give it to God and live your life.
I think the pastor of Life Church, Jay, who he just stepped down, but he's been the pastor since this location opened up. And I think that him and his wife, I know they had fertility issues, and
many people do.
I want to say they went through IVF.
Probably.
They did it. I think they threw the kitchen sink at it, and finally we're like, it's just not going to happen. Now
they're pregnant.
They have 4 children.
They
have 4 natural children with no just natural.
Yeah.
And that is a huge God wink. I always joke, for me, God, like, cause I'm a doer and a fixer, and I'm a take charge kind of guy, and I'm going to take control of my life. And I feel like God sometimes just passed me on my head like that was cute. Yeah. That was a really cute idea. Yeah. That was cute. But no, let me handle this for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting because Aaron and I, I love this. I love that we do this. After church on Sunday, we go to 11:30, and then we have to go to lunch. We always joke because I meal prep all my food.
Yeah.
Aaron's like, no, we got to go to lunch because I'm starving. I'm like, but now we've kind of turned it into like, we talk about church. What he preached is. I was like, that. What did you take away? What did I take away? And I love that Aaron is trying so hard, and he struggles. He's just trying, but he's struggling. And then I word vomit all of the stuff I took away from it. He's like, oh, that's it. That's it. That's like, so for example, our last service, which I can't remember verbatim, of course, but basically talking about how when you're in, all light from the dark, when you're in a dark spot and you're in, like, you feel like you can't keep going, and like, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's kind of, you feel like there is nothing going for you or nothing coming up, or you just can't see because all you're in is darkness. Like, then God comes, gets you. And so when we were at lunch, I was telling him Sunday, I was just like, we were going through a dark, like this year, like perfect example, like this is what I took away. Because he was like, I'm not sure how to take away from this. I'm like, no, listen. So like when we were going through a super dark spot, we didn't know what we were going to do. We were very frustrated. We had all this like
staring off into the abyss.
Yeah. We didn't see a light at the end of it. Like, it was frustrating. It was so frustrating. And then I decided to go to church.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
That's it.
That is so good.
I text Carla and said, let's go to church. And then
it's crazy. And the further you get along in your faith walk, you'll understand that God's answers are, he's never going to shut you down and turn you away. It's yes. Mm-hmm. He answers your prayers. It's not right now. Yeah. Or it's, I got something better for you.
Yeah.
He's answering them. Mm-hmm. It ain't your answer. It's his, which is perfect. But then when you start having a resolve with that, it's like, I go through things with my business. I'm right now, we're trying to restructure some debt with the businesses, and I keep, bank like, oh man, you're a great guy. You got a great story. Your business is doing great. And then, they have my file for a week, and they're like, nope, you're turned down. And it's like, one after another. And it's like, all right, I mean, okay. That initial, like, hey, you're a great guy, but we don't have a program for you. At first I'm like, and then I'm like, all right, God, I mean, okay, what's next? And more importantly for me, when's next? Because I need some help, right? Yeah. And I just keep going, man. I do. I keep going. I don't allow myself to stay dark and spun out. My spin outs get shorter. The period of time is shorter. I wish the frequency wasn't as much. It's not because I'm just so involved in so much stuff.
I was about to say, you just have so much.
I'm just constantly pushing the envelope and trying. But the duration of me being spun out isn't really long. Like I'd come home and be like, hey, I'm going through it. Just leave me alone. And it's like a couple of days I'm shut down. All right. Don't talk to me. Now it's like, I get home, hey, rough day. Give me a minute. Let me get changed. Sure. I'll get out of my clothes and all right, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Because I just have to process it. But yeah. I know. I always tell people this. God's been around a long time, and there's been a lot of people that have depended on him. And you are not special enough of a person for him to pick you to fail, to be the first person to fail.
See, I love that, and I feel like that right there is what some people struggle with. Is what you said at the beginning. Is we live in this world, and I think like we live in this world and we're the main characters and we're special and we have to fight it and it's all on us and it's all on our shoulders. And I feel like obviously through my story, like that's how I've lived for a very long time. And I've gotten, where I'm at. And but I got to a point where it's like, I've lived the story and the life I was supposed to live that God wanted me to live. And there were all of the, I want to say all of a sudden, but over a series of time, obstacles that like were, I was bulldozing through, and that is not what God wanted to do. That wasn't. And the bulldozing wasn't working. It wasn't working. It was just one problem after another. And then now it's the clairvoyancy is just insane because of just like you said, and actually kind of what you said is why I'm reading this specific book. Called Zip It, because while going to church, you want to be a better disciple. You want to be a better person and live and speak how God wants you to speak and in his honor. And it's so funny because as women, we get emotional and we get mad and cranky, and I will snap off. Like, of course, I'm my husband. I'll just get snappy. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And of course, Aaron wouldn't care if I did it for the rest of my life. Like he wouldn't, but it's not fair. And it's not right. And I don't like that I do that. I don't like that I don't like the emotional, like I get emotional and I'll make snappy at him, or I'll make snappy decisions, and that's just not right. And I know that's not how God wants me to live my life. So out of, again, a wink of God, I found this book and it's called Zip It, and it speaks about that. And it has, it goes by chapters. I'm on like chapter 34, and I listen to a chapter a day. It's part of like my study. So I listen to a chapter a day, and that is what it's about. It's called Zip It because it speaks about how you want to speak and think and put your word out there, and being, how would God want you to speak and put yourself out there, and not, being negative, or I don't want to say like just saying bad things. I'll put it that way. So, but I feel like sometimes we take things so literal that sometimes when we're listening to worship or we're listening to words from the Bible, we can take it so literal, like, oh, that's not me. It's like, no, think bigger. Right. Like, think bigger. No, he's not telling. They're not telling you not to love yourself and you're not special. That's not what they're saying. It's like, no. And I feel like sometimes it gets taken that way. And I'm like, no, that's not how it is. It's that it's even bigger than that. It's that he is watching you and he has a journey for you. And that's what it's about. He's on the journey with you and he's helping you through all of this in his own way. And I feel like when I started thinking like that and like, again, opening myself up and giving myself, it's like everything just started falling into place. And
the further you get in this faith journey, you're going to keep finding patterns or moments in life from years ago. And you're going to understand how that moment years ago is happening right now, why it's pieced together. I'll give you one that we just experienced not too long ago. I did. So I got invited to speak at a construction site in South Carolina. I spoke to a leadership team. I spoke to the whole construction site. I ended up having five speaking engagements that day, or over a period of 2 days. And my buddy Travis Leiser, do you know Travis and Courtney Leiser?
Yeah,
you know Courtney?
yeah.
So Travis, he works for Whiting Turner, and he's been watching all my material, and he's like, dude, your stuff, man, because the construction industry is male-dominant industry, right? He's like, your stuff is awesome. It's because he's in the environmental health and safety, and so it's not just like wear your hard hat, safety. It's like mental health and, make sure that everybody's like safe, mentally and physically and all that. So he said, I think your content would be great to come out and speak to our team. And so they invited me out, and I had an encounter with a lady that and after I spoke and shared my story, she came up to me and she's like, I need your help. And she's like, I prayed for you. And I'm like, that is so funny. She's like, I prayed for, basically not for me, but she's been needing help because she has a friend that is coming off almost my story, like coming off meth, that needs help and wants to recover at her house when he gets out of the hospital. And she's like, I don't know anything about this recovery. I don't even know how do I do this? Like, what can I do to help him? And, and she's like, I've been asking God to help me figure this out. And like, he sent you. Then I go, well, what's crazy is before I left out of the hotel room this morning, I got down on my knees by the bed and prayed for God I'm going to get emotional, for God to show me why I'm here in South Carolina. Bring me the person I'm here for. And she came up to me afterwards. Right.
That's incredible.
And but Travis Leiser knows me and we're friends because him and Dominique met when they were 17 years old. They were friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the only reason Travis and I is because Dominique was cruising North Oak and he was cruising North Oak, and they're friends all like, as teenagers. Right.
Yeah.
And they've been buddies. I don't think they ever dated. They maybe did, but they just have always been buddies over all the years. And then when me and Dominique got married and I met Travis through Dominique, we were out on the boat or whatever, and him and I became buddies. And then this whole thing came full circle. But I'm just like, God introduced those two, 30 years ago, 25 years ago to put him in my life, for me to make a difference in that girl's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's incredible.
We can't understand the intricacy of how something woven over 20. So that's why when we're like, God, I need some help. I need this loan today. He's like, listen, bro, I'm working on shit from 27 years ago. I mean, like,
give me time.
Yeah, give me time, man. I don't listen. I can make this happen now. I can make it happen later, but trust me, I'm working on it. I've been working on this for 4,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, but we just don't have an ability to comprehend supernatural at that expansive level, right?
Yeah.
So he gives us these little tips. But the thing is, if you don't have an open mind and eyes to see that and hear that, you don't get to experience that special, to understand the God we serve has our life so much thought about that, 20, 30 years ago, he's been thinking about us today. Right. And so just that I can see that, right. I can see how, and I don't believe in my walk the last 10 years with sobriety, I don't believe anything is coincident. I don't believe in it at all, because the God I serve is way larger than a coincidence. Yeah. Right. And the mathematical side, the scientific side of how creation has to even exist. If the axis of the earth is tilted by 1/1,000,000th of a degree, none of this stuff exists. Right. Yeah. So that the creation, the infiniteness of our ability to even exist is off by one molecular anything. None of this even can happen. It's that.
I've never even thought.
You got to dig into that. So there are really, really good scientists out there that are atheists that try to use science to disprove God. And there's really, really, really good scientists out there that are Christians that will show you how and use science to prove creation or to prove God. And that's one of some scientists.
Oh, that'd be a fascinating dive into.
It's to the millionth, the odds of this happening by coincidence of existence is like to 0 to the trillionth, bajillionth power.
Yeah, like almost non-existent.
It can't happen, right? It's impossible that this can happen by accident. Yeah. The Big Bang Theory. It's just not, it can't. And so you start understanding that and wrap your head around that. It's like then you start like, okay, so I just need a loan. Look, I'm just trying to get a loan. Yeah. If he can do all of this, he'll figure out my loan situation or whatever it is that I think that I need, right? And he'll fill that void with whatever it is I really need.
Yeah. It's, I think, something that I've loved. I mean, I love all of it, but it took Aaron a little bit to start coming with me. And then finally, it was like, no, like, again,
is Carson finding any interest in it?
Well,
Like wondering what you guys are doing?
Yes, he finds interest in it, but he works on Sundays. So yeah. So for him, he's kind of just like, oh, this is pretty cool for you guys. But right now he cares about getting money. So like, yeah, I think that's something that'll come.
I think if you guys keep
oh yeah, no, I think that'll come in the future. I've talked to a few older people about that and their kiddos and whatnot. So I do believe in the coming years, eventually, that'll be something that's in his life. So, but Aaron started coming with me and he's the same thing. He's like, I don't know. I don't know. And then he came again and I was like, and I will say, I'm like, it means a lot to me that you come. Like, this is a part of my life now and I want you to be in it with me.
Yeah.
So he went. And then they had, they have all sorts of events. And then, so they had a marriage conference, Friday and Saturday marriage conference. I was like, Aaron, we have to do this. He's like, I guess.
Do you remember what it was called?
They just called a marriage conference, marriage summit, maybe.
Me and Dominique put one of the first ones on that they ever did.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, this one was fantastic. They had virtual guest speakers that had wrote quite a few books. But the coolest thing, this was fascinating. So we sign up, we register and everything. And then they send you a link. They're like, hey, you fill out this free, questionnaire, all this stuff. And it gives you all this information. We're like, okay. So you fill out yours and then your spouse fills out theirs and they put them together. And we did it. And I didn't realize that was going to happen. I just knew I was supposed to fill out a questionnaire. I didn't realize they were going to put it together, but they did. And they email you a PDF of like all this stuff. And of course it goes over your love languages, but it goes
Prepare and Enrich. Did you do the program? The questionnaire, it's called Prepare and Enrich. I think you may have done something different, but.
So the PDF is saved on my Google Drive. I'll look it up, but
see if it's called Prepare and Enrich.
So the day before,
does it show you all your strengths and weaknesses and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, it goes into mass details
that's
of
probably what it is.
Everything. And so we loved it. So Aaron's love language is words of affirmation. Mine's is quality time. And what is that? Like I think it's called quality time. Mm-hmm. So, but everything made sense. All of it made sense. It was almost spot on with a lot of the things. And I'm going to have to find it because it was it was a couple months ago. So it's going to be that far back here. So I'm like determined.
Yeah, we did. Me and Dominique did marriage mentoring through Vineyard. We got mentored and went through the program simultaneously as they were teaching us how to mentor and mentoring us at the same time. So
that's my goal for next year is to do, become marriage mentors because for us,
it helps. It helps us. It helped us when we were going through it. It really helped us too, because you're when you're speaking out loud and articulating these like tools and resources and things and how to act and how to treat people.
Better love report.
Better love. Okay.
Yeah. Better love action plan report. So that's my goal for us to do next year. Cause for our generation, like we met and married 24 and 25.
Yeah.
A lot of us are divorced. Let's be real.
Yep.
No question. Lot. Yeah. So we'll be going on 11 years. So, no, we did this marriage conference. We got, all the stuff put together and all the stuff was super neat, super fascinating. But then we went to the conference and they broke it all down. And it was the next day, Saturday, that they started explaining the power that you have knowing this about your spouse. And we're like, you know what? How you can fill each other's cup, but you can dump each other's cup real fast. And this was Aaron. I knew what love languages were. Aaron had no idea. This is not something in his realm of things he cares about. So he didn't even know this existed.
He's a dude. He's trying to kill a deer.
Yeah. He's like love languages. So
I love you.
Yeah, he's all into it now. We're there. We're in it, you know? So we learned, obviously, if you know words of affirmation and I, say, I love you, you're the greatest, you're awesome, fills his cup. But if I say, I don't know, like, obviously, like, oh, we're not getting anything done, this is turning out so shitty, stuff like that, it may dump his cup. Mm-hmm. So that's a perfect example. So marriage conference gets done. We go out to lunch, of course. Mm-hmm. I go out to lunch and we're talking about this because I find this we both find it like dumping each other's cup. Like, am I dumping your cup? Yeah. Like, how is this starting? But we were destroying each other.
You don't even know. Yeah. You don't because you're not doing it intentionally.
Well, we never talked about it.
Did they talk to you guys all about intentions versus impact? Did they mention anything about that?
Maybe we got really hyper obsessed with this part.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so that, because back to that, right? because you don't intend to.
No, not at all. And it was the greatest thing to learn about each other, because for him, I was saying words of affirmation that I thought were so encouraging. It was destroying him. It like took him, he was taking it mentally, like just in such a different place. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea. So, and for me, because mine was quality time. It took us like 2 weeks to figure out dumping my cup. And then once we figured it out, we're like, oh, okay. Because obviously like I'm snappy. And so I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But, like for me, I love, like, we're home buddies, you know? And so we sit on the couch, we spend time together, which is great. But it's not jealous, which that was always really hard for us to figure out, because he's like, I watch him plan and execute and spend a lot of quality time with other people. And I'm not jealous of it. He needs to do it. Have fun. Have a great time. Go golfing. Go close deals. Go blah, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. And so for me, I was like, but once we went to the gym together, went to the grocery store together, and then like when we like hung out together, like there was just a day we did this. I don't know, because we usually don't go to the gym together. I just felt amazing. Yeah. And I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. I was like, this is filling my cup when we have like this self-care time together. You know, when we go to the gym, when we like do stuff like this together. And I know that that's harder to come by. We're busy people. I get it.
But you got to do it.
Yeah, but we need to do this. And so once he kind of was like, oh, okay, it helped him. Like, I realized like it was hurting him in a sense of like, he's like, well, we spend so much time together. I'm like, we sit on the couch and watch Game of Thrones together.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
I was like, I love it. Like, so like to him, he thought I was complaining, but I wasn't really complaining. I was like, I enjoy our couch time, but it's not the same. And so now this whole thing we did with this church and the growth and the experience, it was like we took so much away from that. And it's like, now it's amazing. Now I like, no, I'm like, no, I can't talk like that. It's wrong. Or like I know my partner will take it the wrong way. I have to do this. And he's the same now. He's like, I know I can't do this and this. Like we need to do this and this. So like,
so a lot of people don't really understand the magic of intentionality. When you're not going to get it right. You're not going to be perfect. Right?
Oh yeah.
You're going to try. You're going to say what you think's right, and it's not. But when you're intentional about the try, you know, and sometimes like I know that with the tools and stuff that we learned through our marriage counseling and then through all the stuff, you know, we would. It's awkward. It's like, you know, there's a timeout rule, you know, our timeout rule, because I'm a runner, she's a chaser. And she wants whatever the problem is, she wants to talk about it right now and let's get it fixed. She doesn't want to dwell on it. Right. I want to go away. I just want to I'm a runner. Hopefully let's just not talk about it. And eventually we'll move on. Something else will distract us, and it'll never get brought up again. We move on. That's so unhealthy, right?
Yeah. Aaron's like, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. I'm like, no, we need a solution. We need it right now. He's like, no, let's just go do this. I'm like, no, right. No.
And so the timeout rule is it's 24 hours. And since I'm the runner, I say, hey, listen, I need a timeout. And it's so cheesy, right? It's like, I need a timeout. I'm exercising my 24-hour rule. And the rule is, within 24 hours, like you look at the clock, within 24 hours, I have to come back and initiate the conversation for the resolve, right? She'll give me the space as long as I'll come back. And so that was the rule, right? Yeah. And initially it was 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. And and then, like, hey, we got to talk about this. Yeah. And then it's like, hey, just give me a beat. I'm frustrated right now. I don't want to talk about it. And then she'll be like, all right. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like literally the minute she says, all right, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. It's just time. You don't need the time. It doesn't change anything. Yeah. You know, but when I say, hey, I don't want to talk about this right now. And we know, so she's being very intentional about, she wants to talk about it right now. And I know that she does, but she's like, okay, that's fine. Just let me know when you're ready. It diffuses me, and in fact, it makes me feel good, right? It makes me want to serve her, because I know she wants to talk about it right now. So I put my time out aside, and I want to serve her now because she was so intentional and thoughtful about giving me that time. And I knew she was thinking outside of her comfort zone to give me that time. And so, that's when you start realizing and understanding what each other, back to the choices that I'm talking about, when each other are making conscious decisions that are outside of what's normal for you, then you're trying to do it to serve each other. Man, there's so much bond in that. And that's why Dominique and I's relationship, it isn't perfect, and we do fight, and listen, not too long ago, I see a psychologist on a regular basis. He's the one that started all this stronger leader stuff. It was a homework assignment.
Really?
It was. I'll share the story with you later. It was a small homework assignment. He wanted me to come up with an acronym of leadership principles so I can have something to remember.
Yeah.
Then I ended up with a full-blown ministry.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. But anyway, so he's been really impactful in my life and helped me with my leadership development, stuff like that. And so her and I got into an argument about something. I don't even remember what it was. And I'm like, you need to talk to Dr. Wayne. And he's not even her doctor, he's mine.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to talk to Dr. Wayne. And I was like, no. I was like, you need to call him. She's like, I am going to call him. And so she called him, and she ends up getting on a call with him on a Monday. And then he texts me, hey, you want to talk tomorrow? I'm like, sure. I'm like, no, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I get on a call with him, and he obviously speaks life into me. He's a Christian too. Right. And, he's the team doctor for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh,
so it's pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, and then we all three get on a 3-way call on like Wednesday or Thursday. Right. And it's all better.
Oh,
but she took the time to talk to him about what's going on. I took time to listen and not be stubborn and to receive his wisdom, right, and the perspective. And then Thursday, or when we all got on the call together, I was warm and well, and just so appreciative that she actually took the time to call him to help figure me out.
When did you guys start realizing and working on this? When was this? Was this after that you guys did the marriage conference?
So no, we it all happened simultaneously when I gave my life to Christ, when I got saved in the hotel room. So my addiction counselor at KU Med, I didn't go to rehab or anything. I quit cold turkey. Just that night I went home, said, hey, I have a drug problem and I need help kicking it, and I need your help. And she's like, all right, so that was the short version. But so she worked at KU Med. She ran the pediatric intensive care unit for 16 years. So our insurance was really good. So we were able to see a doctor, a psychologist there on campus. So we would go down. So her shift was, 7A to 7P. Well, every Thursday morning when she would go down on her shift, our appointment was at 7:00. And so the girl from the night shift would stay an hour later so we could do our counseling.
Oh, together.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
And so he was helping me with my addiction counseling, and then simultaneously helping us with our marriage. Right. And him, calling her out on enabling me and empowering her and giving her strength to stop enabling me and me. And so that helped there. And then when we started diving into church, and then we went, I did Oaks of Righteousness. Have you heard of Oaks? It's a spiritual healing class. I did that. We did an empowering class together. We did the marriage mentoring together. So we just like over the last 10 years, January 16th will be 10 years for me, sobriety. And so we have been very intentional. We went to down to Branson. Lee Summit Community Christian Church puts on a really cool marriage retreat every year down in Branson. And so some friends of ours, that was their church, they invited us, and we went like 4 or 5 out of 6 years in a row. And it was just our time to go together. It was just so awesome to connect. You're with other believers. And, I think oftentimes people, the reason we get into trouble in marriage is because we don't do anything to not get in trouble. You know what I mean? We don't do any preventive maintenance to stop. It's kind of like you don't change the oil in your car because something's wrong with your car. You change the oil in your car so that something doesn't get wrong with your car. A marriage retreat and marriage counseling and seeing people and doing things together, that's maintenance. That's just doing your frequent oil changes so your motor don't blow. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that. And I mean, I love that, getting to know you, and that you guys have been working on that for 10 years. And it makes me feel just so much joy for you and her. But I feel like Aaron and I have just started that.
Yeah, I see a lot of you guys in us. You're 10 years younger than us, or me anyway. Dominique's 5 years younger than me. So, but your, life circumstances aren't exactly the same, but how you guys are, you're both motivated, you're driven, you have a lot of similarities to us. And I think that what you've done so far in your life and accomplished between the two of you guys is so good. But let me tell you something. What you got going on now with bringing God into your life, you have no idea how good your life's getting ready to get. It's going to get great.
It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And I just, like, I wake up every day and I'm like, it's another day. And it just makes me, and
I'm happy
different.
you figured this out before your life got wrecked and you guys get divorced. And you know what I'm saying? That's what happens.
Well, and divorce is so common. It's so common, and he has to deal with it a lot more than I do. I will say, in my line of work, the women I deal with and the women we interview and everything, a lot of it's more empowerment and fitness and lifestyle, all of those things. But for him, being in the mortgage space, like, he has to deal with refis for divorces all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All the time. Mm-hmm. He has to deal with loans and child support payments, and he has to deal with getting names off titles and people not knowing names are still on titles, like all sorts of stuff. So he has been doing that with years. He comes with a family that has been riddled with divorce. And he had, we discovered later, and I know we didn't talk about it, he had childhood trauma because his mom did leave without telling anybody, without warning, him and his brother and his dad, and she up and left and filed for divorce, and nobody saw it coming. So he had trauma from that, but I think it's crazy because when we get in fights and we get in moments and we get in, I don't want to say, we get in moments that are long, we'll put it that way, and just, it's like, what are we going to do? And then we go back to, we've had 2 instances in our marriage where it's like we're not in a good place, and we are in tears and we're, down and everything. And we look at each other. One of us says it. I said it the first time we ever did this. I said it. I just look at him and I was all teary eyed. I was crying. I was just a mess. But I was like, and I was in prep. It was terrible. I was just like, I got done doing cardio and I was like sweaty. I was teary, and we were like, and I just was like, I wish we could just start all over, because at the end of the day, he is like my best friend. Mm-hmm. Like, I love him so much. And I'm like, we always, again, being in my industry, I'm in a very heavily male dominated industry. I've done fitness modeling shoots. I've been out there with my body, that's the line of work I've chosen as far as like fitness, as fitness modeling, bikinis, all that kind of stuff. And it's so fascinating to me because all I think about is Aaron. Like when I have to deal with men or talk to men or have, I've done photo shoots with men, like anything like that. It's just like, they're just another person.
Yeah.
Like it's, right. There's no difference. And he knows that, I know that. Like, we've never had infidelity, anything in our marriage. It's more of like, we go through other hiccups, we've dealt with alcoholic issues and just trust when it comes to that. And so having to better that and fix that. And that's, and he's done it before. We got into a dark place and he's like, can we just start over? I'm like, we can only do this so many times.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, before, which we did.
Let's quit getting here.
Yeah. I can't remember he's a very famous speaker and I'm blanking on his name, and I sent it to Aaron and, it's driving me nuts. It's like Paul Patterson or Jackson or something like that. Oh, it's blanking on me. He's an older guy. But he has this
Jordan Peterson.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if you know what I'm going to say then. How it's anybody, and this does not go for people that are in like physical and harmful relationships, because I always like want to preface that, like, if you're in a situation that's like physically hurting you, like you need to leave.
Sure.
Like toxic relationships of that nature, you need to like leave.
Yeah, if your life is in jeopardy, don't run.
But it's the looking at each other and like starting over and trying to fix it and trying to like dig yourself out of it and doing it together. Like, you can't be the only one doing it either. Like, you can't be the only one like, I want to fix it, and there's like still not changing. Like, it doesn't work. It will never work.
Right.
But watching, like you said, the watching me serve him and like talk to him differently and putting words in like this, it triggers him to be like, wow, she's doing all this for me because she wants to be better and she wants to be better in our marriage. I need to respect that and give back to her. It's this like yin and yang, but also like with God involved in it and doing it from a spiritual, loving place to be better humans. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I still struggle like putting words together with it because, just started this.
Well, have you figured out that the marriage between a man and a wife it's the absolute most sacred relationship in the entire Bible? Did you know that?
I did know that.
It's more than father son, mother son. Mm-hmm. It is the absolute.
Yeah, it's your partnership for life.
Yeah, I mean it's the most closest representation of Jesus in the church. They referred to him as the bridegroom. Jesus was referred to as the bridegroom, and back in those times, if you read on the weddings in gosh dang it, I'm drawing a blank here, but anyway, weddings back in those days, there was they would introduce, there was arranged marriages usually, right? And they would introduce the groom, who the bride was going to be, and then they would send the groom, the man would go off and go work and prepare a home for them. Mm-hmm. And you never knew when he was going to, and the only person that knew was the father of the groom. It was the only one that ever knew when he was going to come back to take his wife. Mm-hmm. And until then, she just had to prepare herself to be with him. And that is what our representation is as Christians, because we're waiting on the second coming of Christ. Mm-hmm. Because Christ, we're supposed to love our wives like Christ loved the church, and that's we are the church, right? And he's coming back for us, and so that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? And so, in terms of us preparing ourselves for Christ to come back for us, as a woman, you're supposed to prepare yourself for your husband to come, and the husband is supposed to be preparing everything else for you, right? And so it's the representation of Christ in us and everything, and so it's pretty special.
Yeah,
it's cool. And the further you get with that, you're gonna fall further in love with it. I know you are. So this is the longest podcast I've done.
I know.
This is great. It's been forever. It's 2 hours and 51 minutes.
I know.
So far.
Whenever we do,
I could keep talking.
I know. So could I.
Yeah.
I could. I need a bathroom break, but I could.
This has been so good.
I know. I appreciate you having me on here, and it's just been. This is a fantastic platform. I love what you're doing. I love all of what you're doing. I've watched you start this. I've loved watching the people that you've had on, and not just this, just watching you support Dominique. I remember when you got done with the St. Louis show, because you did well. I remember but you chose not to carry on with bodybuilding because, excuse me, bodybuilding is a selfish sport, and I do know, especially for men, for women it is too. But I mean, I will say this will borderline like almost like a sexist statement, but as for women, we do know how to juggle a lot to where we make it so a little less selfless. I'll put it like that.
I would agree.
But for men, I do know, like, women as givers, I'm sure she gave a lot to you during your prep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, and that I understand that. So you made a post shortly after your prep, after your show, and you talked about how you just wanted to give back to her and how grateful you were for her and how much like you loved her. And I thought that was I was like, that's such a good man. Like, that's such a good thing. Like, you didn't put your dreams aside. You didn't you knew that it was like, that this was time for this. And I have loved like following everything that you've been doing.
Appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Well, I love that you're on a spiritual faith journey. That just rounds out your awesomeness, just makes you even more awesome. And, I'm going to reach out to Aaron and just encourage him, as the male, and be someone for him. And I'm sure you guys have you guys made friends with Shane and Haley Coons yet at Vineyard? Shane's he's one of the pastors, real big guy, works at Ford. He's all tatted up.
I don't know.
All right, so you got to meet Shane and Haley.
I'm like I know we've met a handful of people, but off the top of my head, I don't think so. I feel like I would remember somebody that has,
I'll send you a picture of him so you can see who he is, and,
okay.
and then you can go introduce yourself to him. Great couple, awesome at Vineyard. So. But yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing, man. You too. I am so proud of you. Your story is pretty amazing, and you are everything you've done it, right?
Yeah.
You've done it. And what's really cool is that I know, like I told you earlier in the podcast, I know God's had his hand in your life. Mm-hmm. I can see it all over it, right?
Yeah.
And where this is all becoming so cool is that now you get to experience the knowledge of that.
Yeah.
And you get to really, really appreciate that your life has been ordered, the steps have been ordered, and you've been cared for. You know?
Yeah.
You've been cared for.
Yeah.
God's had a say in your life, and you're when you realize that now, you're going to be able to do something even more special with it.
Oh, I look back and I like you've said, I've started to look back and I'm like, there was nothing going for me to make those decisions or changes, but there was someone.
Yeah, he was whispering in your ear.
He was
Just
like,
do it,
no,
girl.
it's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
yeah.
Like, this is not your path. Like, this is your path. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And I did it. I did it with every physical voice and reason being like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like, no, it's time.
Well, you strengthened that obedience muscle over all these years, and so that's what's going to carry you through this next however many years of your life. Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. I'm proud of you. I'll be a front row seat watcher now. Your show's getting ready to get even better.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you slide on the rapid questions.
Oh, okay.
You want to do them? Let's do them anyway.
Okay.
They're fun.
It's up to you.
All right, let's do it real quick.
I'll pass on some. I'll just do it that way. I'll make it shorter. Okay.
Favorite muscle group to train?
Oh, glutes?
Of course. Least favorite exercise, but you do it anyway.
Ugh, back.
Heavy lifting or high reps?
It really depends on what, but glutes, heavy lifting.
Okay. Morning workout or late night grind?
So I'm now not late night, but I do go
Evening, let's say.
I'll do afternoon.
Afternoon,
I like my new gym.
All right.
Yeah.
Cardio, love it or hate it?
Oh, it's okay. I've grown to be okay with it.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Oh, okay. Definitely decaf iced tea at night.
Okay.
But coffee in the morning.
Okay. Go-to pump song for a lift for a heavy. I mean, you're getting ready to get after it.
Okay. I don't know the names of them because I just listen to like crazy music on YouTube. So I don't know. Like I just have YouTube like crazy music and it like remixes songs for me.
Have you gotten into Christian rap yet?
No, but I did see something of that on TikTok. I will say that.
There's some good ones. I'll send you a few.
I'm way better at these than I thought.
Yeah. Favorite PR you've ever hit?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. Okay, I will say favorite PR is back when I got done with actually the St. Louis show where we met at, and I was like, I wonder how much heavier I could really go, and I literally like doubled my glute hip thrust, or I shouldn't, but my hip thrust because I was like way under lifting, and I challenged myself to lift more. I don't remember what my PR was, but it was like double what I was lifting. So like
big weight.
Yeah, it just, because I was doing like a straight bar at like 90 or 80 pounds. And then I finally was like, I wonder how much I really could lift. I was like, worst case scenario, I have to take off the plates.
You know who's a beast is Jamie Sturm.
Yeah, she's so cool. Yeah, she's great.
Favorite cheat meal?
Oh, that's a hard one because it changes. Like honestly, if I had to eat, when I eat something after a show, I do like a really good juicy cheeseburger. So I'd have to say that.
Love it. One supplement you'll never give up.
I mean, okay, that's kind of a hard one because as far as like just in general, like supplement knowledge, creatine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Creatine and glutamine, they're not flavored. I just put them with like my pre-workout. Yeah, I'll just keep that because like sometimes my flavor changes and then like I can go without BCAAs or EAAs.
Yeah.
And I can go without pre-workout. I just like it sometimes.
I can't. I mean, I guess I could, but
I think when I had an injury, so I had to go with no caffeine. I've learned to be without caffeine. I'll just put it that way for IVF injury reasons before. And so now I'm like, well, I don't need it. I just like it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he'll appreciate this. So I ran out of pre-workout. I have a non-stem pre-workout in case I ever work out in the evening.
Yeah.
And I had a little baggie of some pre-workout left from my last trip of my stem one, but it wasn't enough for a full serving. So I mixed them this morning and I'm like, where is my pre-workout at that I ordered? I had everything in my cart on Amazon. I never had to buy them. So mad. So now I got to wait another 2 days.
Amazon has me spoiled. There's something I'm still mad about it. There's like this thing I wanted for Black Friday and it's cheap. It's like $30, but it's not on Amazon. You have to order it from the website. $15 for shipping. I am like on principle by not paying for it. I like talked to my friends. I'm like, cause I know they've ordered from there. I'm like, do you guys pay for this shipping?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. I'm like, no, that is ridiculous. I'm like still on this platform. I've been watching it for like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. These people want me to pay. The thing I want is like $30 and some change. Like it's not
50% shipping cost.
And you can't get it on Amazon. I'm so mad about it. I'm like, I'm still mad.
How much do you have to buy to get the free shipping?
$125.
Oh my gosh, of course.
I already looked. I was like, and there's nothing on that site that I want that is even like,
right.
No, it's not even close to it. So I'm like, great. Yeah.
We'll end on that note.
Yeah.
All right, girly. Well, listen, I appreciate you and keep doing your thing. And we'll, I'm anxious to circle back in about a year and see how you're doing.
That'd be so fun. We should have Aaron on it together.
We are going to do that. Yeah. We'll do a marriage deal. I'm trying to get Dominique on here. So
I heard you say that. I was going to say something about that because like I was shy for so long. And then it's like, no, once you just do it, it's like you're talking to a friend.
She is the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, her behavioral pattern is called coordinator. She just likes to coordinate and orchestrate. That's it. And she wants me to be the face.
Yeah.
So, which, you know, I'm not exactly shy. All right, girl, I'm going to do my outro. You ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was another amazingly successful episode of the Stronger Leader podcast. Mandy, you are a gem. Thank you so much for being here. And listen, guys, you're not going to want to miss this one. So hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to check that bell so you get the notifications when all the new stuff drops. And as always, be good, be blessed, and be stronger. Talk to you soon.
Love it.
So I'm getting better at these outros.